Howdy, folks. Welcome to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We are here in a gold New Year's theme to celebrate this new year, and also to continue the celebration of Ari and John's wedding by using the black and gold themes last night and tonight as our first themes of this year. For this session, there is a reroll that gets to go out to the person who most truly embodied the gold spirit. Matt has a great gold cloak, but in all fairness, Tina was the person who brought it.
And Tina's got this dope crown.
Tina does have this dope crown. Tina does have a gold-colored sweatshirt, and for this reason, I think Tina is the winner of the golden reroll.
Well deserved.
I had to work all day today, so I didn't get to print out a little token. So for the third time,
you have a bar. You have a gold bar.
Let me present to you the naughty or nice reroll from the Starfinder Christmas.
There's gold on there.
There is gold on there. There's tinsel. Yeah. So that expires at the end of the session.
I'm so ready.
A couple quick announcements before we do actually get into D&D. First, we have social media, YouTube, Instagram Threads, Blue Sky, @AlberonRPG. You can see things that are on our table. Right now, it's just this guy and a frog, but you'll be able to see encounter maps, handouts, things like that in much greater detail at @AlberonRPG. We have a number of upgrades that are happening. We have a new soundboard or a mixer that's going to be put in sometime over the next week. Hopefully sometime by February, we'll have some new cameras that will have a little bit wider angle. And so there's some cool upgrades. And a lot of that is because we have support from people like Talon, like Dan, like all the other people who tune in every week, or even just checking out the stuff on YouTube. Incredibly helpful. And so thank you for that. There is a staggering amount of announcements and things to talk about, and so it was too much, and so I made a video about it. It's on YouTube. The 2025 Alberon State of the Union. State of Alberon? I wrote it. So you can see whatever it is. I did it I remembered 20 minutes before I started doing it that I had to, and then I was like, oh, quick. And so it's a little rushed, but you can see all of the different events that are coming up in 2025, cool one-shots, anthologies. There are special themed events. There is going to be, coming up in the very near future, a Fallout game. So all of that you can see in more detail on the State of Alberon 2025 video on YouTube at AlberonRPG. And that is all the announcements that we have for this week. And so before Kara gets into the recap, it's time for this week's session of Courts of Everest.
Wandering Hearts. When last we played, Billie and Ori made their way through Petrichor Square to find a singer dressed in pink, whose song sounds suspiciously like a certain other bard dressed in pink. And finding in the center of the square, Tundin Schmeth, the Wonder Chef, and his dancing chairs. Billie accosted him threateningly, and Ori politely asked questions. His song was indeed strikingly similar to Cheshire's, but for one single verse that was added and a few that were dropped. After talking with Tundin, he did inform them that there were some things in there that were for each of them specifically, and they should potentially listen carefully to the words within. Ori gave Billie some helpful words about growth or something. And back at the inn, Valis discovered a loophole when retrieving knowledge. God damn it. Not Javaris.
Here's it.
Thank you.
I mean, to be fair, Javaris is a good guess.
Javaris is a good guess. I was thinking of our friendly patron, Satyr. And Hirson told him that while he did have the book, he could not give it to Valis. But Valis was able to find it in a room nearby using Locate Object. Together with Cheshire, Alina, and Minka, Valis opened the book and they discovered the secrets within of Nithix the Dark One and 2 others that were sealed away as part of the Pact of the Four Seasons. One of which, the name could not be read, as part of a secret Coven of 3. The name erased seemingly from history, lest she be drawn back towards Everest, hidden behind
The astral
Eclipse.
Well done, that was a test.
We did it.
Ori and Billie returned, and together they shared information, leading to the discovery that we do indeed have a star map that might lead somewhere important. Minka, realizing that she herself was the light, held the star map aloft and found a map home, the home of the Star Elves, and learned a little bit more about her origins. We then decide where we're going to go next, which is not somewhere else, but apparently we're going to try out for this like cool Battle of the Bards thing that's happening up the street, and it's going to be great, and then we'll get teleported off to the more important plotline. Well, it's fine. We'll be fine. Everything will go accordingly. We go to talk to Tundon because, of course, we realize that we need to hear the song all together, and on our way to Tundon, we discover that there is a traveling chef Part 2 who has arrived in the square to show us their wares. Desiring to see more of said show, Cheshire stayed behind, and Gaki, the... What was the...
Gastro enthusiast.
Gastro enthusiast.
The Wonder Chef.
No.
Like,
I went back and I watched like everything that Alana said as Gaki to do.
I figured I would ask Gaki what their actual, appellation was. And Gaki produced what could be considered a divine, maybe eldritch chowder that we all encountered to some degree. Some enjoyed more thoroughly than others. Mm-hmm. Upon arriving to Tundon's pop-up, where he is setting up for the 9th of High Sun, today's the 8th, Tundon proceeded to speak in more riddles as we discovered that he could only sing the song that he and Cheshire share once a day. Disappointed, yet moving along, the team has headed towards the Rose Theater and our audition for a certain lady in mourning for a certain Battle of the Bards. And that's where we start.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's hard.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just change that music here.
Try to do it in character a little bit, but also like explanatory.
A full Billie in character recap.
I did think about it.
Stupid stuff happened, and then a lot of other stupid stuff.
I got real close to thinking about
Honestly,
just
recap from Cheshire's perspective.
We did things.
Yeah.
Why?
There was a bird.
Anything.
It was really pretty. There's a lot of noise happening. Not sure what that was about, but... So all of you approach the Rose Theater. And as you do, this is a standalone auditorium within the Petrichor Performers Association Guildhall. This is a stone series of buildings on one of the rainy streets of Petrichor, a city where it is always raining, that straddles the border between the material plane and the Feywild. This theater, this auditorium, is a large, or houses a large semicircular stage, and around it there are nearly 300 seats. This could accommodate a staggering number of people, and then up raised above it in the dark right now, there is a balcony for standing room only that could probably accommodate another 50. Currently, out of all of these seats, as you enter into the space, you can see there are only a handful of people, most of them just lining up along the central aisle. You see a handful of different instruments here. You can see there's like a number of people. There are like grung and satyr. You see actually a fire djinn. This is an individual who is from the elemental plane of fire. They stand like 6'5", barrel chested, red skin, and there is this swirling wind that seems to almost follow them. But it is a motley crew here. And the two people standing or sitting in the first row are ornately dressed. You can see one of them, a shapely woman in her 50s, heavy, pale makeup, but like very heavy. You can see hair that is clearly dyed black just along the ridges. You can see like little bits of like the hint of dye along the scalp line. She's wearing black lipstick. She has all black clothing, including a gauzy black train that requires this second person, a handmaiden, to carry it even while they are seated. She's like holding it kind of over one shoulder. Her handmaiden is a halfling, blonde hair just above the shoulders. And as you enter, there is a pair of people who are walking out past you who are quite sad. You see a Harengon and a human. Both of them have these huge drums attached to their chest. One of them has a set of panpipes that emerge from a brace around their face. But as they walk out, you can see the very haughty looking woman turns and goes, "The drums are not an instrument, really. They're backing at best." And they kind of whip and like turn back around and face the stage. You can see the handmaiden kind of like preens over this lady, and she says, "I'm terribly sorry, Lady Oscord. Let's move it along to the next group. Is there and she like takes out this little piece of parchment. Pinacorismo here. Pinacorismo Alari." And then you see like there is a little commotion behind you, and you see a grung, purple. You've actually met Perry before, Perry the grung. They are related to Gary, who you just recently spoke to, but you met Perry on your first trip. Perry turns, they go over and they go, "Oh, hey, good to see you. No, one second." And they keep running. They run over and they lean into this halfling's ear and they whisper. And the halfling goes, "A shellfish allergy, you say? How very, very like the poor. All right. Well, unless there's a last-minute bard that wishes to step forward, let us move right along."
Hello.
Next up, you can see she
step
turns. You all step forward. Amongst these rows of different individuals, there's like a series of groans. You saw this group stand up. There's like this little grung who is like, "All right, guys, we got this." And you step forward. She goes, "Oh, you're not kidding.
No. At your service.
And who might you all be?"
We are, the Wandering Hearts.
At this, the really haughty looking person up in the front turns, and you can see like caked on makeup, even up close, like there are like cracks in it. It's on so heavy, it's almost like clay. But she turns and she looks at all of you and she says, "I've never heard of a Wandering Hearts group before."
Well, we are here to solve all your problems.
The halfling turns and goes, "Lady Stellaris, we really don't need to worry with this." Or sorry, Lady, that's her name.
Vartasa.
Lady Emberly, there really is no need to listen to these no-name people. This individual turns, so her full name is Lady Emberly Artasas Oscourt. She hyphenates the name. Maybe that means something, but she turns and she says, "This is exactly what we need. We've had nothing but lack of success after utter failure. I don't see a single large drum amongst this group. Please, step forward."
Right this way, come along.
The handmaiden gently puts aside this train and comes over to all of you, and she kind of like tries as best she can. She's a halfling, so like really hard for her to get up around your shoulders, but tries to draw you into a huddle, like maybe 15 feet away from this individual. Are you allowing yourselves to be huddled up?
Sure.
Okay. She kind of huddles you all in, and she says, "Now, look, I don't know any of you, but you better not embarrass me."
Wouldn't dream of it.
Does
What?
your lady prefer more lively music or more serious tones?
This is a eulogy tournament, so most serious tones would be appropriate.
Billy looks like meaningfully at Cheshire, like,
You're, of course, aware of the rules of this tournament.
Could you remind us?
Oh, gods. She, like, gathers herself for just a moment, and then she says...
get out. And that's it.
The 4 judges will judge each competition. on a number of different criteria. Musicianship is the most important, of course. Originality is important as well. Showmanship is a distant third, and then the crowd reaction will be judged by each individual. That means that you can get a total of 100 points per performance. Are you all... so it's musicianship, originality, showmanship, and crowd reaction. They turn and they say, there are many very prominent bards taking place in this competition, so again, you may not embarrass the Lady Emberly Oscord Artasis.
Are we scored individually or as a whole?
No, as a group.
Okay. No.
College project. The professor's like, don't worry, I'll judge you each on the work that you did.
Does the lady allow a little bit of a tune-up time to get used to the acoustics in the theater? We've only just arrived.
Make a diplomacy check. Make a persuasion check.
I think it's 21, but I want to just double check. 21.
She seems like...
Make an insight check.
Eye for detail?
Sure, make an insight check, not eye for detail. With a 22.
Ear for detail.
Is that a... Oh, okay.
But see what she says.
With a 22. It was 21. With a 21, as you kind of ask for this, you hear this, and it's this grung who is like getting all excited, and they're like kind of impatient. But the halfling turns and just says, "You'll get your turn, players of Vulcan," and turns back to you and just says, 5 minutes, no more.
That's all we need.
25. With a 25, you look at this woman, caked on makeup, like heavy. She looks like she probably doesn't like music that much. She's not having a great time being a part of this.
The thing about the drums.
She definitely doesn't like drums. You heard that out loud. But like, it's hard looking at her. She doesn't seem like the kind of person who likes.
Yeah, she seems like, okay, that's kind of what Ori was vibing off.
Yeah. But probably, and so that would tell you probably like brief
Yeah.
would be a good tack to
Be
take.
like something explosive and nice.
Do you say that out loud to your group here, including Cheshire?
Yeah.
I don't think that might be the answer. There was indeed a group that left earlier that seemed to be loud and explosive. How about something somber and quiet, befitting the mood?
But quick.
Yes.
So, you're playing. You're playing. Are you playing, Ori?
I mean, I guess.
I got us 5 minutes of tune-up time, so we have 5 minutes to
Start
figure this
tuning my
out.
VO.
Please continue
VO.
that. That's very out of tune. Please fix that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we need.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do an insight check amongst the group playing to decide who most needs the extra boost from magic.
Well, it's not necessarily an insight check. So you look around. First of all, you have 2 bards as part of your group, so they probably are doing okay in the musical realm. You look at Valis, who is like currently just
Clank,
twisting
clank,
the
clank,
end of this
clank.
instrument, but there's nothing to twist, just twisting it. They professed to know not how to play instruments, but they would learn last night, and that's what you're going off of. And then you have Ori. You know Ori can play because you've unfortunately witnessed it firsthand several times. He can play, it's just hasn't been in the right place yet. So actually, this might be the perfect place for Ori. There's no goblins. There's no like really tense diplomacy happening. So now would actually be a pretty good time for the flute. And that leaves Alina. And you did just hear this individual say the drums are a backing at best, not even really an instrument.
Alina has a hand drum that she's like, I'm really good at the hand drum.
She doesn't like drums.
No, she doesn't like big drums.
I don't think
They are a backup instrument.
I
don't
can
think
do
she
backing
likes-
vocals. I mean,
I think she's just.
I've got a
she
plan.
doesn't like
okay, plan.
things.
I've been working on something. It's it's me, so it's kind of somber, crunchy. What the fuck?
I
feel like somber is good.
Somber's probably good. Cheshire's got a big library, so I think musicality-wise, might be able to riff. You do a good job with a beat.
Yeah,
So you
just a beat, nothing fancy.
So we'll start with a slow beat, or you can come in on flutes.
Okay, what's the key?
Billie hums
sheet
a little bit. No.
Okay, so we'll just riff it.
How much music theory do you know?
I had some music theory.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So knowing the key.
Okay, let's have Cheshire come in very slowly to start then, and Ori, you can follow Cheshire's lead. How's that sound?
Alright, I'll just follow everyone's lead.
Valison at
Can
the
you hum
end.
that beat again, just so I can try to?
Billie hums it a little bit, and there's like good parts where the viol can come in and be like shine really well, and the flutes would like kind of carry the melody for the most part. The viol would add a like tenor of sadness to the melody, whereas the drums lend a little bit of a serious tone, and also kind of like that plodding, monotonous type of feel to a very slow, sort of like.
Yeah, I could do that. Melita.
And then Billie kind of grabs both of Minka's shoulders. I know performance is not your strong suit, but you shine really brightly in other areas.
Yeah.
Maybe take some of the starlight and create some atmosphere, like a lonely night.
Okay, I can try.
Do you still have like sticks and stuff in your hair?
Fully. Never, they never leave.
Minka's gonna reach up and cast Druidcraft on Billie's like crown to make it look
so
more
tangled.
purposeful, and then also like put a couple of like purple like small flowers in it.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
Forever.
It's druid crafted, so I think like they'll eventually kind of wither and die.
Okay, but
Pick them up
As all
yourself
things.
later
No,
on.
it's more of like, will they stay?
For this,
Oh, yeah,
for this
yeah.
moment, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're like they essentially just grow in.
So Billie kind of like leads everyone through a little bit of like a practice run, just like in the corner.
Okay.
We just went through it. What do you mean?
One exposition later, so I don't have to do it twice.
Sure.
Minka's gonna reach out and cast Eagle Splendor
Yes, that's
on
what it is.
Valis.
Okay.
And
Clinks a
then,
little bit less.
And then it lasts an hour, so that's fine. But also, she'll channel some starlight, and then try to figure out if she can like. She'll spend the 5 minutes while they're tuning up to see if she can like control what colors or like what kind it comes out. She's never tried this before. She's no fucking clue. She's just kind of like, what can I do with this?
I would say, do you have access to prestidigitation?
I don't.
I'm trying to see if that falls.
Don't
into
worry.
But Druidcraft, yeah.
Don't. I have you covered.
True.
I'm wondering if maybe Rez can help her by whispering like either encouragement or instruction in her ear invisibly.
I would say probably not from whispering invisibly, but if you wanted so wait, what is Minka doing?
So
He could
basically,
tap.
she's just channeling like a form like she normally does, so she's emitting starlight.
Okay.
But she's like just focusing internally to be like, can I control this in any way, or is it just the same? Essentially, she's just trying really hard at something. She has no idea what she's actually doing. But she's like thinking, I can glow pink really hard and seeing if anything happens.
Considering the tenor of the song, pink
It's-
might be the wrong color.
It's a free action
just trying.
because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You try to do that, and you do know that when you are channeling like the celestial form, you can shift the shape, and that changes like the structure of it. And there is like motion and movement. It doesn't really change the color necessarily.
Okay.
Do any of us get the sense of what Minka's trying to do?
I'm not subtle.
Yeah. I think almost always you get the sense for what Minka's trying to do.
Sneakily, I don't want her to know this,
Okay.
but I want to use the necklace of the colors
Okay.
to shift some light.
Which necklace?
I forget,
We
it's not his
don't
actual
know.
name, but it's got the 7, whatever,
Oh, the Ring of Pyrotechnics?
no.
Oh.
The necklace that you got.
Hannah got really excited for a second.
Seven stones
the-
necklace?
Yeah, the 7 stones necklace. It was the stuff from the drow. I got the 2 crowns and you got the necklace. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, not really. It's an interesting thought. But you have other things that you could do that would accomplish
I
that
also have
that task.
prestidigitation, so that's
Yeah.
not an issue. But I don't want her to know.
Yeah.
I want
So
her to
make a
think
sleight
that
of hand
she's
check. Make a sleight of hand. And this sleight of hand check, Minka, you're really concentrating.
Cheshire just wants to
You're
build
thinking
confidence.
pink. All you're thinking is pink thoughts, pink flowers, pink flavors.
27.
And then, through your shut eyes, the features of the light shift ever so slightly to a little bit of a rosy hue. And you open your eyes, and it's gone, but you know that you saw it. And yeah, you definitely can. For sure, it's you.
Got this.
Yeah.
Is the floor of the Rose Theater stone?
No, it's wood.
Okay.
How far are we gonna be away from the Lady Ortasis?
So the front of the stage itself, no more than 15 feet away from the front row of the seats. So
She's in the front
you
row.
could be very close. You could also move up to like 20 feet back if you wanted to.
Cool.
She's in the front row. The handmaiden's in the front row. And then there is like 230 empty seats. And then maybe like 10 or 15 people kind of strung out amongst the, like right off the aisle. The easiest to access seats. And they're all holding like instruments and they're kind of grumpy because you guys have taken like 5 or 6 extra minutes now.
We ready? Yeah. Have places.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go behind everyone and then just kind of sit and glow.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like sort of in the front, but to the side,
Okay.
within 20 feet of the viewer, the Lady Ortasis, and also we're markedly a little bit farther away from everyone else.
Okay. So, the way that this is going to work out, this is a group skills check, and there's multiple ways in which you are able to participate in this. You all sort of named, and for some of you, it's a little easier to pinpoint how this is going to work for others. For you, Minka,
On my flute.
Short flute does go too.
with the help from Cheshire, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Are we about to
For what
play
it's
these?
worth, Cheshire would also like to use minor illusion through this to kind of help offset
Yeah,
people's flaws.
no problem.
Do we want
Flaws
to
in
use
general, everybody
any
looks like handsome
bardic?
SpongeBob.
So straight. Have any straight?
Just
Oh
straight.
no!
Why did we do this?
12.
12. Okay. With the 12, Minka, you begin to glow with this light. And Cheshire, though your first instinct is really to make Minka glow pink, with the somber tone of the song, you stick to darker colors, to purples and blues and things that really speak to sadness and to the really rainy conditions around you. And it sinks in and it feels pretty okay. It is not like stunning or staggering, but you don't hear anybody like start saying like, "What the fuck is she doing?" It is relatively successful. It is considered a single pass.
I'll take it.
For you, Cheshire, as you are aiding Minka in doing this, you cast Prestidigitation, you cast Minor Illusion. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. 26. You are able to maintain not just the prestidigitation that gives Minka, as Minka like kind of moves their arms, you time it so that the colors shift and change. Minka, the light that you are producing is beautiful. It's ethereal. You're like, wow. Like, if only my mom could see me now. But for you,
proud.
and it's effortless. You're just like, at first you had to really concentrate, but you're learning. All you have to really do is just move your arms and it seems to work. For you, Cheshire, it's hard and it is a lot more concentration. You are looking over at Minka, following the motions of her movements to make this light show. And on top of that, when the various other members start to kind of like bump into each other, and there are almost assuredly going to be some missteps, you find ways to use minor illusion to cover those up. And that results in people's DCs going down for some of these checks. For you, Valis.
As soon as my part starts,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Aura of Vitality
Okay.
and channel that as I play the
Okay.
the viol.
So you immediately channel this internal sort of like power source that radiates out from you. There is almost like this physical sensation of And especially with Minka with all these glowy lights, the billowy garments like back away behind you, and it really creates this backdrop behind the performance. Can you go ahead and make a, you're proficient with music, make a performance check.
With the veal.
You have
Veal.
advantage because of
Woo!
this one.
Yes, you do.
21.
21. Valis, you have one of the hardest parts. You're coming in right at the beginning, and you're really supposed to kind of carry the majority of this on. Like, if your part is wrong, nothing else can really come in right.
I'm glad you gave me this pressure before I rolled the dice.
And luckily, you were able to succeed on your part. You come in at the right time. You were able to, even with just this single 5-minute practice session, where most of what you did was just twist the bottom of your instrument, you were able to perform and really put some like very somber music into the air that really radiates off the walls here. And where everybody was grumpy along the aisle, it's almost like they can't help themselves. But you see people leaning forward, and it's quiet in here, save the music. But that is a success as well. Ori. You hear Cheshire come in with the first flute, and you know it's your time to shine. And for what it's worth, you've been like, this is going to be pretty easy because everybody is just, but everybody has done very well so far.
Yeah. Dude. And then I got an 11.
In 11.
Yeah, man.
Should I have cast that on you instead?
Sounds like
Oh,
maybe.
wait, no, because I get proficiency too, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little
Yeah,
bit-
plus 4.
15.
A 15. With a 15, that is a meets it, beats it for your success.
Literally squeak by.
If you were taking the primary
This is the
position,
first time that Ori has played this flute, and it is child's hag flute.
so
It's a little like
in playing
A
it,
very somber instrument.
in playing
Very
it,
apt.
the finger holes like very finely worked. Everything is like very nice. So it's probably not a child. It's probably from like a halfling or like a smaller
still, it's
individual, but it's small. And so you kind of overplay it at first, then you dial it back a little bit. Yeah. And you're able to make some music come out of there. It's not by any stretch of the imagination like wonderful. And you do see like it does break the spell a little bit for a few people. But widely it is considered a success. And you can actually see in the front row this really like heavily caked makeup. You can see the dark lines even more reflected through the light that Minka is casting. It almost looks like a broken like China doll mask. But you can see just on the edges of it, the makeup beginning to turn a little bit gray. She's like really feeling this music. And then you see like it dries up just a little bit. But she's still enraptured by this performance.
Haven't lost her yet.
Haven't lost her yet. We're gonna save Alina for last. But Billie, because of the drums. Billie, what are you doing to participate in this?
Billie is singing.
Okay, so Billie, you have the second hardest part. You know performing the way that Ori will is not going to cut it.
So Billie steps forward.
Okay.
Once the whatever the fuck that was starts to kick in.
Is that the fucking pig? No. Oh, it's just.
He's got something else in there. I see it.
No, it's
Oh,
just,
it's a dice. I think he's just whistling.
Oh man.
And like steps in front of Minka, so there's like an outline.
Press it back.
And then she begins like to sing the song that she had started like working on in the tower in the Hag Forest when Ori got pulled through a portal.
okay.
The light a dying ember, the fire it's growing dim. I reach out for her fingers, and all I find is skin, blood, and bone. Lost in the long night, blood and bone. Under the evil eye. And there's like 2 more verses that go into like how she's alone and she crawls to bed. Alone I fall to sleep. I dream of finding her arms and falling wholly in. And then the chorus once more, but instead of under the evil eye, she changes it to all alone am I.
Go ahead and roll an advantage for that.
Bravo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
fantastic.
really
And you can
good.
see, especially given the subject matter of this tournament, really, really appropriate.
Natural 20!
And so as Billie sings, for all of you, you have really seen Billie, like, even Billie just now putting on like Billie customer service voice was a little unnerving, but then just Billie starts to sing and Billie has a really good voice. And through all of the normal kind of like almost phlegmy sort of sounds that come out of Billie when she normally talks, none of that present within the singing voice. And there is like a sadness to it. And with these words, beyond it just being a song, there is something much more real that is linked into it. And you can see this channeled, this woman like fully weeping now. You can see just like crying. You could see she's just like absolutely sobbing. And I would say like, there's something else going on here as well, but like certainly you've struck through to her. You could see her handmaiden is like just trying her best to like dab at her cheeks to preserve this makeup in some way.
The makeup.
You can see like almost there are other people. You see for the first time somebody gets up and leaves. Like people, like some of these bars just leaving now because there's no chance for some of them to continue. And by the time that you end, there's only like 3 other groups that are left. You've almost completely emptied out this aisle. And that leaves just one person. Alina. It's all down to you. And in your mind, you can hear, all right, Alina, you're really good at the hand drums, all right? You got this. As Rez, you're familiar, really hypes you up. Are you going to play your hand drums?
Can I make an insight check to see whether this performance is good enough without the hand drum?
No perception check needed. It is like this is great. This is going fantastic. You have the potential to really like. There's 3 other groups that are in here. You could potentially seal the deal. Everybody leaves.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Is this a performance check?
This is a performance check.
You get proficiency because of the hand drum.
Ta-da!
Wait, so add proficiency again or no?
No,
No.
unless you're an expert.
Can I have advantage?
Could Billie, like... Is it too late to give a bardic?
No, I would say you can give a bardic, no problem. So as
have
you're
one
seeing
left.
this come up, you can see like you're tuned into Alina. Alina is anxious. You can see Alina like holding the drum, like already not super certain about this.
Cheshire's already kind of helping assist.
Sure. Okay, there you go.
Thank you,
Saving
Cheshire.
Billie the bardic.
All right, so that's
much
18.
better.
18. Okay.
Thank you.
You play the drums, and at first, you can feel yourself being anxious about it. You can feel like everybody looking at you, and even though it's only like 5 or 6 people, you feel the emptiness of this room almost like overwhelming. This is voluminous, and it is just like you are up here alone. But then you can like hear Ori on the flute. It's not the best. You can hear Valis on the viol, and it's actually pretty good. There's this amazing singing from Billie. And you realize you're really not up here alone. You have this whole group that surrounds you. And so you play these drums. You play them with all of the kind of like carefree abandon that you might within Thornholm. And you do it in a way that is respectful of the music and the piece. And as this concludes, you can see there is just a single band left in here. The door kind of shuts as you can see the fire djinn just kind of like takes one last look and gives you like a nod of respect and then just shuts the door behind him. There is only the group that was about to go when you all arrived, and they're the only people left. And you can see 2 out of 3 of them have like stood up already to leave as well. The only person who's still standing down or still sitting down is the grung.
Perry?
What?
Perry?
No, Perry left. Perry's a guard. He's working. But at the conclusion of your song, this woman just like sobbing, and you could see the handmaiden stands up and she just says, "That was fantastic. On behalf of the Lady Amberly Oscord Ortasis, we humbly accept your proposition.
We're in!
You may be the Lady Oscord Ortasis' champion for this tournament."
Wait, what about the other group?
You can
just,
see
like,
the other
all
group like
Mom arms everyone, just like, shut up and take it.
2 of them like turn, but the grung goes, "Yeah, what about us? All right, guys, we got this. We're the Vulcan a cappella players. wah, 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 wee, wah, wah. And the other guy goes, no, we lost. And takes him around the arm and like begins to guide him out. And he like looks kind of mad, but they leave. And you have officially won this title. You are competing in Lord Artasis' eulogy tournament on the 10th of High Sun. The woman kind of like, after watching the people kind of storm out, turns and just goes, now, and like this is all of this over the backdrop of this woman sobbing in the background. But she says, now, you will need some work on your flute playing, of course. And so we expect a better performance from you.
His flute was damaged in transit. We expect to find a much better quality one.
From next to this woman, suddenly the woman, that simply won't do. Stenaris, go get a silver flute. Any of them will do. And you can see she goes, of course, Lady Artasis. She goes and like runs off, little halfling legs. And you're just left with like sobbing for like a solid 2.5, 3 minutes, and then coming back with like two little like leather cases. This woman runs back in, and let me just turn on some music real quick. Turned it off at the end of the bard.
And one of them is Ori's flute from the bottom of the ocean. I recognize that. He's
Oh
so
damn!
good.
I know. I didn't think. I'm not that smart.
Vessel picked this song.
She
My
comes in.
husband found this a week before his death.
She opens them up, and they're two different sized, like genuinely silver flutes. These are very fine instruments. You can see one is a little bit more elvish in style. One seems to be a little bit more like organically informed. You see like motifs of almost like vines along the backing of the flute itself. But Cenera says, on behalf of Lady Oscourt Artasis, may I present to you one of these two fine flutes?
I'll take the organic.
Okay. Hands you that one. Nods, like closes the other case. She tucks it under her arm and she says, of course, that is nothing compared to the many instruments within the late Lord Artasis' collection. But that will be for the performance. I would also recommend trying to continue along with the original pieces. That was lovely. And similar works should do well in the next upcoming rounds. I trust you know who we will be competing against.
We have heard.
Okay, good.
Formidable opponents, but
Well,
not without flaw.
you've actually drawn the luckiest draw of anybody. Just one moment. And she goes over, and this woman's still sobbing. She's like, okay, come on, Lady Artasis. And she like goes and like guides her out, gets her like settled away, and she says, I'll be back in just one moment. I'm sorry. And like goes and like helps this noblewoman away and out. And you can hear her like she was composing herself in here, even like as soon as she gets to the door, it's and just like immediately sobbing, ugly crying, and you hear that like vanish off into the very large estate. But is there anything that you're doing while she's gone?
It's the entire theater just open.
Just empty, yeah.
And sorry.
Billy just like silently mouths to everyone's echoes.
You can still hear the crying. It's not like especially quieter, but it's further. It's like echoing a little bit more. The sound has changed. But yeah, it definitely, this theater, it travels very
Like,
well.
careful what you say.
Yes.
She'll hear.
So are we just gonna do that for the performance? That was amazing, Billy.
Billy, that was really good. I felt that.
I think we should probably do something to play towards the judges, but yeah, fine, whatever. Just thought she's our judge. Play to a judge.
Okay, that's a good point. Who are the judges?
At this, like the halfling's coming
Here's
back
him
and
as
she
one, right?
hears what you said. And she says, of course, here's him as one of the judges. It would be foolish not to ask him when he's in town. But the other judges, give me just 1 minute. I have to pull up my right eulogy tournament sheet.
The good and right eulogy tournament.
The executive of assemblies of the Petrichor Performance Association, Linus de Vesat himself, will be here. They're a very challenging judge, likely the hardest one that you'll face. The Lady of Songs of the Petrichor Performers Association, Fatiza Alenskar, is going to be here as well. Much easier to please. And then from abroad, we've invited the Dungannon United Conservatory's Musician of the Decade, one Nilly Winslow. Very popular with everyone these days. And they will be joining Lord Hearsome in the judging of this competition.
Nice.
We're getting judged by Nilly Wilson. No, Nilly Winslow. Very specifically, Nilly Winslow.
Yeah, not Willie Nelson.
I apologize if this is a silly question, but the performances will be taking place in the Performers Guild? Or
The
out
first
outside?
round will be right here in the performers, in the Rose Theater.
Okay.
The second round will take
Hearing
place
that.
outside.
Ori's looking around. Is there anything around here that could potentially be used for, not to sabotage, but to be sabotaged?
I thought
Any
you were
chandeliers
for
connected to a
pyrotechnics.
rope?
Is there any hard points for lights? So there is that upper balcony, but go ahead and make a check with your eye for detail.
Is the idea to avoid being sabotaged rather than... Okay, I'm just checking.
The handmaiden says to you, the second round will take place in the outdoor Arena of Thunderous Song. It's a stone courtyard with excellent acoustics and good seating. 18. With an 18, you look around, and as you let your eyes kind of drift out into the darkened recesses of these upper balconies, standing room only, it's dark, you can't even see up there right now, you just can kind of see the bottom of it. That would be a perfect place for an ambush.
Are we allowed to go to the areas beforehand?
Which areas? You're in here right now.
Oh no, I mean like the
courtyard?
arena outside arena.
Again, we will need to
practice.
tune properly for
Yes,
acoustics.
of
Are we
course.
allowed to do so?
Yes.
Will there only be 2 rounds?
Yes, there will only be 2 rounds. You are, of course, facing off against Extended Rain in this first round. And then the winner of the other competition between the Austenlock Choir and it is a strange group. I can't remember their
Not
name.
loud, right?
Extended Rain.
Billy just like
Um,
squints at Ori like, don't ruin this. I will murder you.
For each round, do we play a certain number of songs or have a certain number of time?
For each round, you will have the chance to perform a single performance. And that single performance will be rated against the other group.
We should maybe just do the one that we already did. 'Cause,
In-
we should work on that one.
Hold on.
The first round, these are standalone performances, but for the second, both groups will compete at once. And there is, of course, a chance for some interaction.
Like a rap battle?
I'm not familiar with that.
Like,
A call and response between 2 musical groups.
Like a melee.
what is it like that empty
So,
swimming
to be
pool
clear,
scene?
Lord Artasis has not died before. That's why we're doing this tournament
yes.
now. So there hasn't really been a precedent for it.
Oh.
I
We're just
suppose
inquiring as to the rules.
I suppose you could. I would be very cautious about using untoward tactics.
That was not the intent. We just wish to be apprised of the rules beforehand.
There are not, strictly speaking, rules against doing any sort of magical interference or
No,
distractions.
but if such were to be part of the whole display, we would want to be prepared. If it is not part of the display, we shall not prepare it.
Oh, but of course.
Will both rounds be on the 10?
The 9th.
The 10th, yes. Sorry.
The 10th and 9th.
I heard tent, and I was like,
Is it like
Yes.
round 1 and round 2 are both going to happen on the 10th?
yes.
Okay.
The first round will occur in the morning, and the second round will occur after the large feast has been served in the town square.
Well, I suppose we should go practice then.
Seems like it'd be a bit discordant if 2 bands were to play at the same time.
It is going to be quite loud, yes.
So is the objective to be louder than the other band?
The objective is to outplay the other band, and if they're unable to get any sort of audience participation or response, they will likely get a 0 in that category.
I am not concerned about taking control of the audience's emotions or attention.
We gotta play our songs.
Would it be okay to play this?
Our group is quite practiced at gaining attention.
Yes. Well, the other groups are quite practiced at getting attention as they are professional performers, and that is their job.
So different songs for each, obviously.
I would recommend that. I imagine the judges will tire of a song after the first performance.
But the song we just played, do you feel that would be a good
Highly
entry?
recommend it. That was lovely.
Okay.
So we'll play that one and prep it one
Maybe
additional.
something happy for the afternoon. Yeah. That sounds like... all right,
Again.
well,
And raucous, yes.
A eulogy tournament.
you know.
We'll figure it out. We'll see. We can
Perhaps something that the late Lord Artasis might have enjoyed himself. What sorts of performances did our Lord attend?
The late Lord Artasis enjoyed plays, enjoyed storytelling. And so a song, a ballad, an epic, something of that nature.
We have just the thing.
I'm delighted to hear it. It should not surprise you, but the Lady Artasis Oscourt Lady Oscourt Artasis was less than pleased to learn of this arrangement.
We understand. That is why we decided to reach out and seek Our Lady's patronage.
Beyond just the magical instrument, I'm sure that the Lady Artasis would be happy to reward you in addition, should you be able to win this tournament. It will secure her future much more.
Our Lady's favor does mean greatly.
She nods. And she says, please, do your best. Everybody is counting on you.
And Billie just deeply bows and kicks somebody who's not bowing.
Sure. That's everybody. You start kicking everybody really quick. Bicycle kick. No problem. And you make your way out of the Rose Theater and into the rain.
Yeah, okay, so that's gonna suck if I have to sing that in front of a lot of people.
Honestly though, really good work. Really good work. Okay.
Should we go back to where are we staying? What's the name of it?
Golden Pool?
Yeah. Should we go back to the Golden Pool and rehearse a little? What time is it?
So at the moment,
Especially loud rain?
no, this is the regular. Man, I regret giving you that as a clue. It is normal sounding rain. For you, Billie, you imagine it's probably just a little bit after noon. You can see there are people in taverns and things like that. There's enough people in the streets so that you would imagine for this on Monday, it's probably right around lunch.
How close are we to the Northeastern Tower?
To the Northeastern Tower.
The one with the 4th floor that's open to the sky.
You are relatively close. I mean, Petricor's not a huge town. You're talking about the one. It's in the actual Performers Association compound. So a minute.
Great.
If you turn and run, you'll get there in a minute.
I've got a place we can potentially practice.
Sure. Okay.
One where the rain is particularly loud.
Oh, okay. That seems like a place that we could perhaps go and practice at.
Wait, did all
For
of
the
us hear that part, or
ambiance.
was it just the two of them?
You were thoroughly engaged with your toffee apple.
Yeah, you didn't hear that part.
Okay.
We will be outside for round 2, correct? So it'll be probably raining when we play for the second round?
Yeah. We'll want to be a little bit more individual focused for this practice area.
What do you
It's
think
smaller.
if we do some sort of tricks or something?
I might be able to prepare something that could help us.
Maybe for the second song.
Oh, also, maybe some of you magically inclined folk could make some uniforms or something, because, showmanship is...
I still have seeming.
Billie is
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
I got rid of it.
Clink, clink, clink.
Rankled by Ori taking over what she sees as a very meaningful song, and is debating on just splitting off and going to the Northeastern Tower by herself.
It wouldn't hurt to look a little more cohesive. Why don't we head where you want to go and walk and talk?
Strategy.
I mean, these uniforms are stupid.
You turn around.
Uniforms, just cohesion. Like those famous bards, the Beatles. They always wore the suits.
They are a fantastic group. But you head past the grand castle of a building that is the Adder Hall of Arts, the sort of main building within this compound, and you go over to an area where there is this large tower, and the roof and the kind of walls of the fourth floor have almost collapsed in. It looks very much like a ruin on the top, and kind of transitions down to relatively well maintained on the bottom. This tower, you can see there are a number of rooms as you kind of enter. You've been here before, and in fact, you've stayed here before. There are rooms that are available for people who are coming in out of town. They're pretty basic. But you're going up and up and up and past the first two floors where all these rooms are. The third floor is just relatively in disrepair. But you get up to the third floor, and Billie, you have played in this place before. You can see, just like before, there is water coming all down here, and as you open the door, it looks like a room in absolute disrepair. But the only thing that is not like a ruin here is this individual seated at the very distance, this individual who you met before, who is called Musa. At the moment, they are holding a beautiful silver and black piccolo, and they are kind of finely working on some element of it. And they look up and kind of see you as you enter, and they take the piccolo and start fiddling with it again to get these pieces back in place before pulling it up to their lips, and they let out this very thin, warbly note that Billie, make a performance check.
We've been here before.
26.
They are saying that in this moment they are quite busy getting ready for something. This thin note, just quick and a little bit wavy, they're really just kind of saying, hey, yeah, what's up?
Billie pulls out her pipe flute, just the small one, and very quickly pipes off a little happy tune that's just hey, good to see you again, which slowly morphs into this the tune of the song that Cheshire was singing.
Okay.
And with the goal of seeing if it elicits the song from Cheshire.
100% would.
Okay.
To see their reaction to Cheshire's
Which song?
The Nithix song.
As the sun sets and darkness does fall, he watches and waits for his children to call. And though he was stripped and trapped in a spell, once he's been set free, he'll save us himself. Father, Father, skip across the stone. Father, Father, come along home. You can walk, you can skip, you can jump, you can crawl, but Father must come when the mother does call.
Okay. You sing this song. And for all of you hearing these words that Billie has been kind of a nerd by up until this point, you kind of get a sense for perhaps why. There is a lot that you have learned in the last couple of hours, really, about the dome, about its origins, about individuals who may or may not be sealed there, about individuals who may or may not wish to unseal them. And so that certainly elicits some thoughts from all of you. From Musa, this individual, this halfling just kind of sitting there on the stool, they're holding this piccolo, they hold it up for a moment, and then they play. It is a soft little melody, and it feels as if it is at once congratulatory, but also uncertain as to what this sort of intention is. You get the sense that this soft note is really just saying, that's a nice song. So what?
Billie starts to play one of the opening lines to one of the famous epics of the Four Seasons.
Okay.
And then morph it into the jingle of Tundon Schmef, the Wonder Chef, to see what happens.
Okay. Make a performance check. What the fuck is going on with this?
25.
Were you
25.
here the last time we were here?
I don't think Ori was.
Or it wasn't. No, it was. I think it was. There was 3 people. I can't remember. It was Billy and then 2 others.
I was there for sure.
And then Ori was downstairs.
We weren't there. Valis wasn't there yet, so I think it's just the 3 of us.
Yeah.
So
Ori's
Alina's
like,
just
what?
Are we?
to Ori. Well, to them,
think we're
Alina's just gonna be
practicing.
like, "Let her cook."
I think they're practicing like the rat pattern.
Just wait. Just hold on. Just let Billy do her thing.
Well, while everyone's doing that, Ori wants to figure out, because this is the loud rain that was implied. This is the area with the loud rain that was implied by...
The rain here is no louder than it has been anywhere else.
I'm
And in
listening.
fact,
I'm listening.
okay, you're listening. This individual begins to play again. After you play and you use this sort of beginning intro to Valis' song that kind of wedges into the song that, what are you gonna...
Billy wouldn't have gone with Valis' song. Billy would have gone like with one of the older ones. Like
Oh,
the,
okay.
the heroic, like, this was a thing that happened.
Got you, from the treaty. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I just want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
And let me know if anything things.
So
As
you detect magic. There is magic about this individual. They are like innately, intensely magical. You are beholding a sorcerer for sure, or perhaps a warlock, but the magic is coming from inside of them. There's no spell being cast at this moment. And as you cast that spell, they begin to play their piccolo. They begin to play these notes that are very clean, very resonant within this space. They seem to almost avoid the rain, and the echo of the rain dies down. And for you, Ori, you feel the rain actually lessen somewhat. You can feel it grows a little bit lighter. And as you look, Ori, you're perceptive enough to realize it isn't that it's getting lighter, it's that some of the drops are not landing. All around you, the rain is still falling, but in places, the water just stops, like inches from the ground, and slowly kind of moves towards. And you can all see now there is like this orb of water that is appearing, and this individual plays 9 notes, 9 very clear, resonant notes that for you, Billy, having spoken to this person before, is a time, 9 o'clock. And you get the sense that that is probably 9 o'clock tonight. And this orb, you can see, just grows and then flattens and becomes a disc of water that is perhaps 3 feet wide. And then these little water towers rise up, and you are looking at a water map of Petrichor. And every time that he plays another note, another building rises up, another canal kind of fills in. And then there is a single drop that just rises from the canals and hangs suspended and glows. And there's no magic that is happening innately like in this space. There's no spell. This is something that this individual is doing through the sheer like music that they are playing. Gravity is being affected by this, and there is just these little elements of maybe nature magic that is woven in as well. But there is something innately magical and very natural that is going on here. And you get the sense, Billy, that at 9 o'clock, somewhere here in Petrichor, in fact, high above Petrichor, something will happen right there. And as it glows, it is a bright light that is clean and white. It does not feel threatening.
Do I recognize the location of the spot on the
well,
map?
You sure do. It is directly above the town center.
Directly above the town center.
Billy
Also where the stage is.
finishes up with a kind of like a hospitality Thanksgiving song, just like speaking of like spending time with friends in a quiet space together, and just tending to each other's needs as a way to say thank you so much for this information. Pleasure to see you again. Can we do anything for you?
Sure, no problem. They look at you and they smile. And you remember the last time that you were here, there was a song that they had played, and it was like almost innately sad. And there is just a hint or a memory of that sadness that is maybe within that smile, but it clears in almost an instant. And he plays a very like short kind of ditty that says, "No, I'm fine." And he stands up. The water that is this kind of beautiful map of Petrichor just splashes to the ground as they stop playing. But they took the flute. They look at all of you. Is anybody else saying anything?
Yeah, we're done now.
What's the...
He nods. He holds the piccolo up and he plays just one short little blast. And you see Valis, detect magic's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You see this is an enchantment spell that just kind of surrounds them. There is this billow of water and air, and they just fly up and through the ruined ceiling.
All right. We'll disseminate information back at the inn. Let's go.
What about...
Okie dokie.
What?
Because he's just like floating off to the north.
She didn't actually come here for practice,
Well, I
Ori.
got that.
Then why'd you ask?
Billy's like torn
Okay, yeah.
down already.
As we walk back to the inn, can Alina do like a one exposition later to poor Ori, who has no idea?
So Alina's like, look, it's this guy, and I guess he only speaks like piccolo.
I don't care about that. What's the glowing drop? What's that mean?
As we are walking along, Billy's like, that? No idea. I have theories.
That feels important.
Yeah, but that was the information
He
given.
didn't-
You don't
he didn't
ask
prove
more of
anything.
someone. What?
He didn't say what
Oh,
it
again,
was. He just...
information dissemination in a quiet room in the inn.
I thought we were like sort of...
Yes,
but we're
we're
gonna-
out in the open.
So you make your way through the streets here. It is about 1 in the afternoon. There are a lot of people who are here. You do see like there's a few people who are like, oh look, and like they're like pointing as like you can see Musa just like flying off and like kind of towards the Misty Meridian,
What's that guy's deal anyway?
but just kind of moving. And you make your way back to the Golden Fool. Is there anywhere that you're stopping on the way, or just straight back?
Did anyone else, like, who understood when he said 9 o'clock? Like, you said he played a thing and said 9 o'clock. Was that only for Billy, or did...
That was only for Billy. So Billy's
Gotcha.
spoken to this person before. Very technically, the only language that this guy speaks is flute, and well, it's piccolo. And so he,
It's a good thing Billy remembers how to play the flute.
yeah. So this would have been completely unavailable. That was the whole purpose of that movie. Neither here nor there. They were back
I like
through
that
the
Vincent
rainy
got it a
streets.
little bit too late.
And you make your way
Well-
over to the Golden Fool.
In Vincent's defense, Vincent the player was not here for
Yeah,
that.
Vincent did not.
I didn't realize that was a very targeted fake.
It's very rare that I'm just like, oh yeah, let's just do this random thing. Like it's
I'm still trying to figure out
the pieces are laid.
the Florida package.
I just think the fact that Florida's underwater in 2250 is funny. So Starfinder Thursday. You make your way back to the Golden Fool. You walk through one of the 2 large doors that leads to this large center rectangular room. Hearsome is there, sitting at this bar. Very much, he had left actually the last time that you were there, but back where he had been the first time you were here. He turns and looks at all of you.
We have something to discuss before. Well, we have something to discuss before I forget. You can't talk about it because of treaties and pacts. You know, your restrictions. But we do need to talk about fashion. Apparently.
You saw Gaki.
I
What Billy
am
means
very
to
happy to do
say.
this. I've been meaning to talk to you all about this for some time. He turns around, he straightens up, the bar stool scrapes out, and he says, now, wandering hearts, it's time to dress like adults. And he cracks his knuckles. He turns and he just says,
important information relating to the treaty. We got to talk about that first. We'll be back for fashion.
I think what Billy more...
Back for fashion! And Billy storms upstairs.
I think what Billy more specifically meant is that, thanks to her leadership, you'll be judging us in the Battle of the Bards.
yes.
Fearsome always judges us. That's his secret.
And we thought it might be a good idea to look a little more cohesive when we perform.
But also in general.
What's wrong with this
Sure.
armor? You gave me
I'm
this.
not taking this waistcoat off. We went through a lot to get it. And
Supply us with Florida.
That should really tell you who I'm directing this towards. I believe he very mindfully looks at everybody but Valis and Alina, who are wearing the very specific things that he did, in fact, either make for you or had made for you. Or send you out for.
I guess I'll just leave then, because this.
Billy's also
Enough
not
for
there. Billy's
So
like
I'll go-
waiting
I'm gonna
in
go
like,
join Billy
the
then.
room. I
I'm
feel like
hanging around for
the
the
room
tea.
would be like Valis's room.
So you make your way up. For the rest of you, here's some for Cheshire, for Ori, for I guess not Billy because Billy's gone. So just Minka. He will say, "It is unfortunate that Billy could not join us. Billy really would benefit the most from this."
Well, she wants something because she's the one who wants to do this.
Why don't we talk about this after we've spoken with Billy? Because she has priorities, and once we're done talking, I agree. She should really be a part of this.
Very well.
Thank you, Harrison.
I rolled a natural 1 in my perception for that.
There you go. So you throw your voice to no avail, and you can excuse yourselves if you want. Make your way up to the awaiting Billy. You find your way into one of these large rooms. It is relatively clean in here. Still raining.
It's
what are you
Valis'
talking
room
about?
specifically.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome to hang out in
Well,
Valis'
Billy's room is a little messy.
It smells like a drunkard slept there.
Yes.
Or
Maybe
didn't-
forcibly
or didn't,
slept there.
Or didn't sleep there.
Was slept there.
Okay. Who understood the conversation?
The flute,
Right. I hoped you would.
like the
I did
guy
not.
playing the flute.
I thought you spoke flute. You always played it when you walked into Parlay.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm feeling pretty good right now, and I didn't get to stab anyone today, so this is pretty rare. Let me have this. Growth.
You should feel pretty good. That was a pretty amazing performance you led there.
Yeah, I don't like to use that so much.
so what was that golden
good on
drop
you, though.
in the map?
I'm not sure, but I have 2 theories. Something is happening at 9 o'clock over Petrichor Center. Something bright, as we saw. In our experience,
A star?
So like as you're talking, Billy, or he just goes, "A star," like JD and Scrubs just looks off, starts disassociating. There's a musical happening now.
in our experience, when bright things have happened in our vicinity, that's usually like a rip in the sky relating to stars. And considering we just read a book and then sang a song with somebody's name in it, maybe that means maybe a moon or something similar appearing over Petrichor. Something might be happening at 9 p.m. over Petrichor Center that is or is not related to the Pact and the Mother. I said that. I shouldn't say that out loud.
What's the second thing? You said there are one of 2 things?
Yeah, the first thing is either sky ripped open or the moon appears.
Question. Petrichor is not part of the material plane?
Yes and no.
goes in and out,
Remember,
I
we
think.
were able to get to it
makes
from the
its
ship.
way through the material plane at certain times when
Right.
the rains align
Yes.
within the material
But I
plane.
mean-
But-
So we don't know where it is right now. That's the
Currently,
issue.
It's in its own sort of semi-pocket dimension.
We don't know that.
Are we in the Feywild?
We don't know that.
Ish, I think.
We're in
Yes.
Petrichor.
Is there a way to find out the state of Petrichor?
Is there like a clock tower that just says Feywild material plane?
Or like someone we can ask?
Billy, you had some pretty intense emotions while you were drunk.
So many motions.
And there was not like explosions of like flowers or birds attacking you, like often happens in the Feywild.
Yep.
And so that would tell you that you're probably on the material plane side of things in Petrichor. The Misty Meridian, the edge that kind of blends in, that's a natural transition point from the material plane to the Feywild. And so when you walk through, depending on which part of the border you walk through, you might end up in either. But technically, Petrichor is in the material plane. Most of the time.
Billy explains that, but in a Billy way.
So, by speaking flute, you understood him to say that 9 o'clock, Central Square?
Something is happening. Or
So-
will happen.
So we should be there?
We should probably be there beforehand, watch for anything.
That makes sense.
This
If
is
it's a
where we
bad
lost
thing,
a
we can
certain
help.
poisoner.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Someone decided that rather than turning the poisoner in elsewhere or letting him go and supplying us with information. We just give him to his cousin.
Who's the poisoner?
Don't worry about it. It was before we met you. Mistakes were made.
Many mistakes.
Yeah.
We continue to make mistakes.
We were
Billie
here in
has a
Petrichor
flask
before. And it was a while ago. We were still really not understanding exactly what was happening.
We also didn't really function well. There's like... It was really easy to get us down.
We've made a lot of progress. I was at growth, but I wasn't there for that.
Technically, neither of us were. That's a meta conversation.
Hey.
You don't think it's another chef incident?
Dear God, I hope not.
Ooh,
My
that would be
chowder
so
was
much
gross.
fun. Can we?
Can we make a chowder monster?
No, I think
No,
be there at
I'll
9.
watch the show.
Billie gives like a mild recap of her conversation with Musa from before,
Okay.
leaving out the final bit.
Okay.
The little sad Joe okay at the end makes me sad.
Sorry, conversation from
Which-
just now or the last time you were
The
in
last time.
Oh.
Okay, so what is that? Because I don't know what that is.
Basically, they were told that there was somebody who like only spoke music up at the tower. Let me see my notes.
This was many sessions ago.
You're talking about the conversation you had with Musa.
Yeah, from like way, way long ago.
So you didn't get 100% of what he was saying.
Number
Yeah.
14.
But you remember there was elements of warning. There were elements that they were trying to express something to you, but you just didn't seem to be able to get it. And they expressed at the very end, the part that you don't share with Valis, is that they expressed a sadness that you didn't understand it, but it was not a sadness for them. It was really almost like a mournful sadness, and you felt like it was really more directed towards you. And
yeah,
for-
Billie doesn't not share that.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Doesn't not share that?
Does not share that.
Okay. Like,
Sorry,
All right, so-
stuttering a lot today.
so essentially, a warning.
Yes.
Musa gave us a warning, but not.
I don't know what he was warning us about, but he's given us some more direct information. And with this, I don't know if he's necessarily warning us. It just seemed to be factual. Although the fact that he's leaving seems bad.
What did you ask him before he gave you that?
So, Tundon mentioned seeking information where the rain is loudest. It's not that the rain is loud when we visit Musa. It's that the flow of the rain is controlled and changes volume depending on his responses to it. I thought maybe that might be it. And with Cheshire being there this time, I had hoped that while that was a good rendition of your song, I had hoped it would be the more specific one. But that didn't happen. That, however, was just almost as good. I know.
You don't what?
I don't have that one.
That's concerning. We'll come back to that. Put a whatever put a dart in that. That's what you put in it.
Was that like a one-time thing, or?
Dart coming back to that. Why would you put a pin in it? It's so small.
Like the simultaneous character break from Kara and
So,
So we need to be in the town center at 9 p.m.
not necessarily something's happening. If we want to witness it.
I think.
We should probably
Probably wouldn't have. I mean,
Why
I
would-
don't
it's
know.
advice, right?
I don't know if it was advice to go or if advice to get away.
Well, if
If something bad is
some
happening, we
random
should be there to
stranger
help.
shows me a map of the town center with
Not a
a
random
glowing
stranger.
droplet. Well, random stranger to me with a glowing droplet of water in some dilapidated building that you brought me to. I think that is something that I should probably pay some attention to.
It's a call to
Otherwise, why would you
action.
bring me there?
Yes. The question is, what action?
Well, the gold droplet seems like the thing that is the focal point of that.
Was it gold?
It was like a glowing, like radiant light that was coming out of it.
Okay.
To be fair, I feel like if it was more threatening, they would probably make it look more threatening. They seem to have pretty fine control.
Again, I don't think he was telling us one way or the other.
Somewhere.
If not telling us,
Something.
Exactly.
if he's not telling us one way or the other,
And because of Cheshire's song and the connection that I attempted to make by bringing up the pact, the treaty, and questions, this seems to be related to the father getting out of the dome and the other thing. That which shall not be named. That sounds dumb. Why would people write that?
Billy, I think you're right. And I think we, as a group, should be there at 9 o'clock because if something good or just, neutral and informational is happening, we should see it. If something bad is happening, it's our duty to help.
About Hearson. I don't know if we can tell him or not.
Probably not.
I'd rather not.
I'm glad that that's a majority vote. Billie counts herself as 2.
Alina, elbows Raz.
It's
like, yeah, me neither.
Oh, yeah, no, me neither. Whatever Alita said.
We're on this 4.
huh?
Alice is count up to 7.
Shit, I didn't get my math back.
Okay, well, if
It's not that I worry that he'd stop us. Did he, when he mentioned the, map and the happening at 9, and when he, finished his music, it
Sure.
sounded not positive, but, just factual, right? Just
Yeah.
kind of neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he'd stop us, but I don't see why we'd
If
need
it
to
has
tell him.
anything to do with the pact, then I think it's something that we should not necessarily tell Pearson about because it could undo the pact.
he might
Or
be
work
obligated
on
to
that.
stop us.
Oh, we
like
think
when
this-
he took the book.
I might have missed the connection. Oh, we are assuming that this has to do with the pact.
Billy just, gestures at Cheshire. It's the song. The father
I have
getting
So
the...
assume he has positive intention.
No, I'm assuming the pact stops him
I'm
from...
not assuming
Oh.
anything. I just want to see what's coming at 9 o'clock.
I see. His map and the time was in response to that song.
Yes.
Speaking
Okay.
of assumptions, are we sure that the father in the song is Mythics?
No, but this might give us some confirmation.
Cheshire is the father in the song Mythics.
Do you know?
We went
Sounds like it could be.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was
Something about when he
feeling
gets free
sick
that
eating
also
the
kind of
taco.
felt a bit
We also know that multiple things are trapped in there, and from what we have thus far, it doesn't seem like necessarily trickery was involved.
Yeah.
But
There are
we
probably
also
many
don't know.
fathers in there.
It's true. But it's the other one that's concerning.
True.
I call them my aunties for a reason. There's a grandmother.
Right. Well, we know where we need to be tonight.
What time is it?
It's like
Yes.
2.
You have something to say about
Probably
that?
about 2:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but no.
Apparently, we all need to be together to share information, so saith the Wonder Chef.
Oh, it's very wise.
Well, I just don't think it's wise to necessarily say what I think in this current situation.
Billy just points upwards.
Okay, I have a proposal. Why don't we spend the rest of the afternoon rehearsing? We can see whatever, outfits Hearson can whip up for us. And then at 9 o'clock, or a little before,
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Flautists.
A little before 9 o'clock, we'll make sure we're well equipped, and we'll be in the town square. And if there's something to battle, we'll battle it. And if not, we'll know more than we did before.
I do have one question for Cheshire before we head back downstairs. You mentioned that that you don't have that piece. Does what pieces you have change, or is it consistent?
Feel like it builds, maybe? Pieces of it here and there, and then they come together, and it's just...
So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, but this doesn't feel as good as that.
Well, I ask because I'm wondering how flexible it is. We know it's connected to chaos, so I assume ever-changing in some fashion. But I didn't know if it was something that was more assigned concretely, or something that comes and goes.
Yeah,
Noting the chaos aspect,
sure.
and less about Cheshire's makeup or the pieces coming together. Does Billy get a sense that Cheshire's been like more stable recently? And that, or is that like stable as in like her physical presence here?
That's more a facet of Tina being here more often.
I didn't know if that would like became a thing.
No, so
Could have written it in, but
I don't know. I wanted to
could have been a
double
thing.
check.
no, absolutely. And so
Point.
one of the things that you have noticed is that Cheshire has been more involved, but a part of that is because Alina has been making an active effort to really, and Valis, of like saying, hey, we didn't see you during this fight. This is what happened.
Gotcha.
And so part of it could be that.
Cool.
It doesn't seem as if Cheshire is becoming more like substantial.
It was less that like substantial and more like either like interested in what's going on here or more tethered.
More animated, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The way the strings were attached were Billy's thinking. Because Billy can't see them,
It's a
Billy
good
can
idea.
only guess.
So do you have sheet music for the song that you have us play?
Would you ask Cheshire if she has sheet music?
Well, no, but I mean,
There you
we've
go.
never
I don't.
also been in. Well, I mean, did your song come from a random and possibly dark one?
I thought Cheshire was going to play one of her own ballads.
Billy thinks very concernedly on the nature of music and its origination.
I have
All I'm
all of
saying
you.
is
The ballads.
I don't think.
I have the rest of you. We can do all those.
I don't think in
all of them?
Yeah, like a play.
A medley.
Honor of his memory.
I think that one
Ooh.
might be good for the last one.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
Billy's song in the first one, medley in the last one.
Yes.
I don't have sheet music, but you've played it already. You can just refine it a little bit.
We're gonna
Make
practice.
sure you have a nicer
no,
flute.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I can work with that. It's just,
You don't have
Does-
something whittled for a halfling and a hag's
as I
hut.
said before, I'm following your lead. You are all the musicians.
I did have maybe, and Billy looks a little sheepish, and you've never seen like Billy look a little flustered but not drunk before. So I do have maybe an idea about visuals for things.
Okay, well,
Go
Mason
on.
is downstairs and is willing to buy us a whole new wardrobe. So,
Billy, I'd like to hear the idea.
I mean, it's really like here's some. It's got fashion stuff.
well, no, but like you should tell him the things that you want.
Pink.
No.
Maybe
Same
for the
thing.
next one.
We could have 2 outfits. Sets of outfits.
For her
Change.
sake, what should I do?
Growth.
Have you ever heard of stage management?
Minka with the little earpiece, wearing all black and turtleneck.
Billy like
remind
kind
me
of
of
like
again?
heads over towards Minka. It's like the
But she
lighting
did
was
so
actually
well.
really lovely.
You did really good.
I don't
think
use
if
that
you
word a
did
lot.
What you did before, that'll be awesome.
And that spell you cast on me definitely made me play better.
You
Oh,
bring
there's
so
a
much
spell
to this
that makes
group, Minka.
sense. Billy feels instantly better knowing that there was a spell on Valis, because like the fact that Valis played so well.
Valis, like, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, the first of all, you rolled a natural 20. Second of all, it was just a beautifully attached performance. It was very emotional. If it, like, Valis almost beat you out on just raw musicianship, and that shouldn't happen.
Like the fact that like the viol fits so well with certain verses, and the fact that Valis played it really wrinkles.
Yeah.
But knowing that there was a spell involved instantly feels better.
Yeah.
It's like aloe on a sunburn.
Yeah. Still burns though.
I didn't say it was gone.
Yeah.
Maybe we should head downstairs, talk to Kirsten, go from there.
Yeah.
I'll tag along in a second. Billy, can I speak with you in private before? You guys go. We'll be right there.
Sure.
Secret
Clink,
secrets
clink,
are no
clink,
fun.
Pulls the motion.
This is Valis's room. This is maybe we.
Do you want to go? Do you want to
You
go to
just kick
mine?
Valis out of the room.
Okay, just like okay, fine, and they go into.
That's like true older sister
Billy
energy.
locks the door.
That's all of it, a wedding energy.
That song that you wrote it after we saw Dora, didn't you?
Yes and no. I finished it then.
So it reminded me of something I've been wanting to talk to you about. You remember how Hearn gave me the horn that calls the wild hunt?
Yeah.
You were admiring your sword.
It was a good sword. It's a good sword.
So
Billy holds it up. Look at it.
it's really good. I know how I want to use it, but I'd want you to be on board. Hearn told me that the wild hunt can break the auntie's hold on you. You don't have to decide now, but I think it might be better.
Not 8 hours ago, Billy went to the town square and heard Tundin Schmeff, the Wonder Chef, specifically say that Alina has a path before her clear,
Yeah.
lit by the autumnal hunter's moon.
Yep.
But since she holds Billy so dear,
Huh.
she'll follow her until she meets her doom.
Thinking about those words, make an insight check at advantage.
I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
I've been stewing on this for
There's a reason
months.
Billy is acting so manically right now. God bless advantage. It's my second natural 20.
Hey.
Yes.
Good dice tonight.
I know, it's
Excellent
scary.
Huron is an immensely powerful individual.
Mm-hmm.
It is within their power to do many things. Breaking the nature of the arrangement that you most recently made with the aunties, probably not possible. Transferring it, almost certainly possible. There's prices that are associated with these things, and you get the sense that very much should Alina choose to travel down the path that would potentially break your pact, almost certainly that is what Tundin is singing about.
Billy immediately grabs Alina's arms and holds on very tightly.
Out.
No.
Jeez, okay.
No. Look me in the eyes.
I'm looking. They're extra scary.
Don't try.
I wouldn't do it without your permission.
Not even if you think it'll bring me back. Don't try it.
Or make a
Don't.
perception.
Okay, okay.
Try it.
I promise. I promise.
Swear on certain.
I swear. I swear on Sir Nunos, I won't try it. I wouldn't do that to you.
And Billie kind of like loosens her grip and then just like holds Alina tightly. And like Billie's not like intentionally hugged very often.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if we've had like a full actual hug.
Alina
Billie-
has hugged Billie and
Oh
Billie's
no!
tolerated
Yes,
it.
that's like full together.
Yeah.
And Billie just like holds on. Leave me behind.
Well, I mean... Fine. Just... don't try to get left behind.
There's a difference. I agree with that. I can try to keep up.
Alina gets another big hug, like, while she's got her.
No problem. You do all that.
And then Alina's gonna be like, I think Sir Nunos is gonna make fun of your fashion, so just get ready for that.
Sir Nunos?
Did I say Sir Nunos?
You did, yeah.
I meant Hearsome.
It's
Sorry.
so bad.
You got
God's gonna make fun of me.
I'm sorry, that was really intense. Hearsome, we're gonna go downstairs and he's gonna change. He's gonna make you change your clothes. Just get ready and
I mean, Hearsome is also technically a god by the
Yeah.
Pantheon standard.
Archfey.
so
But Sir Nunos too, yeah.
we'll drink like a lot after, okay?
Yeah, I might need it.
Okay, let's go.
You make your way downstairs. For the rest of you, you head down a little bit earlier. So you make your way down. You see Hearsome, who is just kind of like pouring himself another beer from behind the bar. The individual who is normally there seems to be like off for lunch, and Hearsome is just helping himself. But you make your way down, no problem.
Well, what did you have in mind for us, Hearsome?
Ah, well, that should all really depend. Are you looking to be more uniform in terms of a performing troupe, or are you looking for more sensible, everyday fashion?
Performing
I don't
true.
know what
The
that
one who should answer that, because I think it would be...
Oh yeah, we're not there yet.
Very well. Who is the one who'll be answering this?
Me.
Yes, Cheshire.
Pink.
Pink.
I
Very
think- I
well.
think
Well,
it
we've
was
got two
Billie.
performances, right?
Oh, are we there now?
Yeah,
You guys,
we
you guys are not
joined.
there yet. Yeah, you're coming down a second.
I think Billy.
Oh, we're not. Oh, sorry.
The charge on some of it.
Could you make us 2 outfits for the performance? One for the first and one for the second round?
This close to the Feywild, I can do pretty much anything.
Yes.
Pink.
Pink
So
it
for the
is.
second
I
round,
don't like it doesn't very much work with my complexion.
Or he had his colors done recently.
I also don't know. Would it be
Or you got
weird?
red hard.
I know what that means now.
He says summer.
Complexion?
Yeah, clothes not going with complexion.
That's good.
Got his mother's back.
You can see here's some like watches all of this, and he says, "All right, so pink. Pink we can do, but we will want something a little bit more noble in nature, maybe more muted tones on the outside with some flashes of bright."
I'm mostly supposed to be in the background, glowing. I don't know if that helps decide what I'm supposed to.
I'm
wear.
sorry, the instrument that you are playing in Lord Artasus's eulogy tournament is yourself.
I'm atmosphere.
He looks at all of you, and he says, "Really, you should let Minka participate."
She
I
does. She
can't
puts on a
play anything.
beautiful show.
I also don't know how to dance.
We're not there.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
established.
So he turns around, he nods, and he says, "Okay. So it seems we will need to do a little extra work on Minka to allow Minka to shine as the
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, that was the
Yes.
plan, that she was gonna shine.
very well. I am very intrigued to see how you perform this piece. I was under the impression that Billie was leading it, and so I thought it would be a bit more somber, but
Well, that's what I was going to say, actually. Pink, not going to work for the first song. It's very, crunchy. What did she
Oh.
say?
There's a lots of shades of pink, Ori. What are you talking about?
Somber.
Yeah, we were planning to have
Yes.
Billie lead for the first round. And I believe that Cheshire was going to lead for the second round.
very well. Let's begin with Billie. And at this moment, like, you hear the door open, and Billie and Lena come downstairs.
Sorry, I had to give her a pep talk about the clothing.
It's quite all right. Billie, I hope you're ready to begin this transformation. Go ahead and make a check.
Could I also make an insight check?
Yeah,
I mean,
26.
100% belief.
100% believe.
I choose to take them at face value.
Pearson seems a little annoyed, but aside from that, like, he's just sitting here drinking beer. Like, it's not costing him anything.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I
you
meant
were you were
I meant
here for defeating me.
Oh,
right?
for yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's more. You don't really need a check to know that there is. Nobody says, "I want to talk to just you, Billie," and then like they're
Right,
just
it's
like,
not
"Okay,
about-
so I like apples. Do you like apples?"
Well,
Like,
no, it's not about
Apples are pretty good.
But with a 26, you know that there was a pep talk involved, certainly.
Pep talk, not about clothes.
half truths.
yeah.
Oh, there was a little bit of a clothing
like,
half talk.
Well,
It's the
primarily focused on clothes.
So Billie,
what you
I've
into it
heard
is that
you
was one small part.
will have a sad pink garment. Is that what you're going for?
I said not
Pink. Pink.
Cheshire's
for the
just very
second
passionate
one.
about pink.
Yes.
Not for the first one.
Very well.
more somber.
So Cheshire, we will come back to the second pink appearance, and it will be quite pink, I assure you. But for you, Billie,
Billie just kind of looks at everyone and is like, like, go drink or something. You're all so close.
Well, we won't
Drink.
know what you're- I mean, I was also gonna listen to what you're saying.
Billie,
I'll go
really?
drink. I'm gonna go drink
he's going to go
some
ahead
wine
and
listen
just put a hand on your shoulder, and he's going to say, Billie, will you come with me for just one moment?
This has never happened to Billie in a good way. But like, sort of like when you have like a teacher put a hand on your
Yeah, oh, yeah.
your shoulder and it's just like instantly like that is the feeling.
Sure.
Billie's like, and Billie like,
Okay, yeah, you just need to be a willing creature for this, but
Billie's willing.
no problem. He twists, and all of a sudden there is a as they both Billie and Harrison become this like motes of green energy, and then just become a single glowing point of light. And Billie, you step into Hearsom's magnificent mansion, and as you kind of like the light becomes overwhelmingly bright and then kind of dies down, you are in this beautiful estate. The stone walls here are like this yellow, almost tinged to gold, but there's no metallic sheen to them. There is natural kind of vines and like growing like jungle life within this space. But you can see like there is a table of food, there is alcohol, there is like these beautiful statues and fountains, and it is at once both this like untamed wildlands flowing into this fine estate and a very nice place to sit with these like beautiful cushions and everything. And Hearsome says, now Billie, it's just you, me, and about 200 invisible servants in here. What would you like to say?
Billie has never once really felt her crunch, as Ori would call it. Oh, grunge, is that what you said?
That's
It
what I
sounded
heard,
like
yes.
crunchy.
We were sure that you said crunchy.
Oh, but I do like that as a descriptor for Billie.
Billie has never once felt her crunchy grungy.
Yeah.
And has just kind of been okay with it and just assumed like everything else was rich people bullshit. This is fantastic.
Yes.
And she's just a little bit in awe and immediately feels like the most shabby she's ever felt. And just kind of looks at him and starts to like tear up a little bit.
I know I shouldn't say this, but are you all right?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
This might shock you, Billie, but I do care about you.
Billy starts like crying in earnest now.
Oh no, that was not the desired effect. Billy, you all are heroes. I knew that far before you did. And if I've ever withheld information, or been less than earnest, or been perhaps a bit harsh, there are conditions that require it. And I hope you understand that, as somebody who is quite beholden to pacts themselves.
Yeah. This sucks, by the way.
Yes.
A lot. I'm sorry. I've been feeling a lot of feelings today. I don't like it.
He nods, and he says, I've lost count of the number of years that I've been alive. It's been far longer than Alberon has existed. And over time, you learn of ways to put these in places where you won't need to look. Parties, festivals, fine feasts. These are wonderful distractions. But where there are these fine things, there is a darker side as well.
The auntie has told me that when you're trying to get someone on your side, you put a little bit of truth in there. It helps make it sweeter. When we went to go audition, the lady is in mourning. Her husband is gone. And everyone thinks it's for money that she's upset. I don't know whether that was true or not. I just saw a stern lady sitting and waiting for someone to not play the drums in front of her. So I sang my song of mourning. The aunties killed somebody, and I don't know if it was nice, but it's the aunties, so it's probably not a good ending. Especially when someone says, oh, I'm an adventurer and I'm here to save the town from the hags. That's not a good ending. And so I wrote a song about her to kind of help with things. And I thought if I sang it, then there would be a little bit of truth and she would be on our side. And now everyone wants to sing it in front of a lot of people, and I did not think ahead.
He nods.
Cheshire wants pink, Ori wants uniforms, Valis wants it to be a show, Minka doesn't know what to do because she doesn't know how to dance, play instruments, and Alina just doesn't know. Alina doesn't know.
Ah.
I don't know what to do, and you might. I don't like to ask for help. And I don't like to feel like this about myself. I always do. I don't like it. I just hate myself. It's a thing. But perhaps you might help with performing the song correctly.
You can see he regards all this, and you can tell with no check required, there are moments where he chooses to remain quiet about things that he could say. Mm-hmm. There's parts where you talk about how, that's not a very good ending, and he wants to elaborate on that, but he doesn't. He really does kind of like rein in what would normally be like, you've heard him talk to all of your companions, and none of that comes out. He listens to you as you speak, and then he says, Billie, I think most people hate themselves most of the time.
Oh, it's very obvious, Sorry, that's... that's a reaction.
I think it was a free action.
Taking strains.
Or your health is just dropping.
Emotional damage.
But he says, as a judge, I must remain somewhat impartial. But whatever I can do in terms of helping you before your performance, just name it and I will.
A tailor. A particularly good one.
He smiles and he says, I would never send you to a tailor for something so important. We have magic.
Billie nods.
He says, Billie, these items, there's always more than one reason why you might be sent somewhere. Just think about that. I am trying to help. And he stands up straight, snaps his fingers, and for all of you, you see this little mode of light just ding into two, and then
I don't know
and
if
you are
Billie
just
can metaphysically
plopped
like fix her
straight down
face,
into
but
the
she's
floor.
just like
Yeah, Billy just like there is just this swirl. You see like little leaves and butterflies just explode out. You've seen this before. And suddenly Hearsome just appears and Billy just like little butterflies tangled in the hair. You could see one like the wings beating furiously trying to escape.
there's
It's just
a
a mess.
weird like minor illusion effect where her face is like got a little bit of a time delay because it's cantrip. I can't imagine that it would. Oh no, I got disguise self. Disguise self.
Fair enough.
As Billy, but not crying.
Uncanny
Yes!
Valley Billy.
I can
8K
do that
Billy.
for free.
So you cast Disguise Self. You
Hi.
try to kind of make it a little bit more presentable for your friends.
Somehow Billy's hair looks good. Billy was not
happened in
focused.
there? That's
and it's just
suspicious.
Like, Billy was not focused and was just like, look presentable. And then, poof.
So no problem. You see Hearsome and Billy just reappear within this tavern.
Alright, so did you figure it out?
Magic.
Oh yeah.
You had to go have like a 5-minute conversation to decide on magic?
It doesn't like stop time. That's kind of weird.
He shakes his head and he says, that's where I rest. Time must pass.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Okay,
The
well,
representation of my house only, yes.
so what's the plan then?
Magic, apparently.
Yeah, but
Yes.
okay.
This is a song that is quite serious. And it's for a serious occasion, for a serious person. So these will not be costumes. They will be clothing. They'll be formal. They'll be dark. But they will transform. One outfit, 2 performances, and they will change.
Dope.
Alright, do you need to take our measurements or something? Or-
He shakes his head and he says, I've spent enough time observing you that I believe I should be able to do this from memory.
Can I keep my waistcoat on?
Yes.
Thank you. Means a lot to me.
He turns and he nods and he says, that reminds me, have you come across anybody from Thornholm?
I don't think I have, right?
No.
That's no, not recently.
I meant today. They've only just arrived.
Who's in town from Thornholm?
Well, Colered has come, of course, as the town's huntmaster and elder, and I believe some of the Furbold brothers have come bringing honey and some other sort of treats, and the centaur fellow, Ocartus the Grower.
I thought you were gonna say core.
Well, no, they've come to support Cor, who is, I believe, in need of excess materials as they've sold too much meat in the past several days.
Man, core is awesome.
Cor really is quite talented.
Core.
Geez, I guess I should have realized that there would be people from Thornholm here. So they're gonna be at the battle.
Yes, no, they will be at the battle, I'm sure, but they've come primarily to support Core. Core is a pop-up who starting in town as well.
Do you know where they're staying?
Second here. Ah, yes, the Stormlord's Capsaicins Club. You may note outside of it, the sign has been taken down and it now reads the Storm Chords Meets. It is a bit sacrilegious, but those who might be upset by it were persuaded by Core's large size. General enthusiasm.
Okay.
This is pop up at a specific time, or is it just the entire time?
There's a smoldering fire pit outside that's mostly smoke, less fire, but it's been going for the past 3 days. So, I imagine you could just go.
We haven't had lunch yet.
Yeah, I guess that's as good an idea as any. I haven't seen anyone from home, since I left, because I'm not supposed to go back yet. But I guess we're not in Thornholm, so that is probably fine, right?
I'm not familiar with the material plane's customs, but I don't care.
I'm sure they'd be glad to see you. You are still on your quest, yes, and you have not returned home yet.
Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't exactly been spreading the good word recently. Because you guys never want to hear it, and you're the only people I ever see. So, I'm not...
Oh, wait.
Oh, of Sir Nuno's?
What?
Metaphorical sense.
We can...
Actions. Heroic deeds.
Yeah. Actions speak louder than words,
you're
and you've been committing actions in the name of your great lord, Saguno.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely be impressed by this, for sure.
And
Did you
Hunt?
say you've been invited to join the Wild Hunt? Yeah, they'll be impressed by that. Isn't that spreading the good word? I guess.
Oh, Alina, they're aware of this. There was
Wait,
announcements made in Thornholm.
What?
Yes. You're a hero. You are a champion of Sir Nuno's. You are what Hirn was 200 years ago.
No.
Billy's like holding up Alina.
Oh, they'll be so happy to see you.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, we can definitely go. I mean, don't make it weird. Feels weird.
Can you define that? Because I don't know what that means.
Just,
Oh no,
you'll be
worry.
fine.
We'll make it weird.
Alina, I imagine that you would be welcome with open arms back in your community.
Okay, well, want to go have lunch? I can't wait for you guys to meet Core. They are so cool. They have a theme song.
They make good blood sausage.
And like a Sir Nuno's way.
Yes to both.
They're more just mostly about meat. They really like meat.
Right.
Okay,
I'm
well,
worried about the amount of alcohol that will be there.
yeah, it
Never
will be.
worry about it.
It will be enormous.
They
That's what I'm
brought an
worried.
There will
entire
be lots,
cart that was entirely mead, and then another one that had all the rest of their belongings.
I'm gonna need all of that.
Oh no.
The 10, we do have to go sometime.
We also have an engagement tonight.
Well, we haven't eaten yet, right? We had breakfast like an hour ago, I guess. I forget.
It's like 2 p.m.
No.
It's right about like 3 now. 3:30.
We're so hungry.
Okay, well, I wouldn't mind
Alina
seeing people
and
from
Billie,
home.
as it is about 3 p.m., could I have a exhaustion check from each of you, please?
Sure.
Poop, I forgot about that.
What kind of
Constitution?
check is an exhaustion check?
It's a Constitution saving throw.
You get plus 3.
Is it a save or a...
Let me just double check.
Oh, good point.
Either way, since Valis is nearby, it's a 12. My
Damn.
luck has run out.
I get
Sleepy times from Billy.
Damn.
Billy would power through for core.
14 for Alina.
The first
Pass
round
the
of exhaustion
fuck
isn't
out.
that bad.
Yeah,
Well,
it's,
just
what is
really-
it? Just skill checks?
What were they?
It's
There
skill
was
I got a 14.
for each of you, for this first check, you were able to struggle through the exhaustion as like 2 o'clock rolls around, 3 o'clock rolls around. You have this conversation upstairs, and that really jump starts your emotions a little bit. That wakes you up. And you're feeling pretty good, Billie, about there's been so much that's happened today.
So many feelings!
But largely that's helped you stay awake. You imagine that every hour that you repeat this check, it's going to get a little harder to do so. For what it's worth.
Okay.
Now, that is your exhaustion check. It is about 3 o'clock. Are you all making your way out to find Cord?
I'm going for sure.
Okay. Okay. You make your way out into the rain. You trace your way through the rainy town of Petrichor. It is getting a little bit more crowded out in the streets a little bit later into the day. You make your way past the Drizzled Out, which you know, this really ramshackle tavern that's just like the furthest thing on the edge of town, and you trace your way back in towards the center, and eventually you make your way to the Storm Lord's Capsaicin Club. This...
Sorry, it's close to the center.
Close, yeah. You can see the wooden sign has been taken down. You can see in like red and white paint that is very like haphazardously scrawled, the Storm Chords meets. And outside this space, you can see a large awning has been erected. This was not here last time, using wooden posts and waxed hides that have been pulled up and away from the building to provide like a little bit of like a lean-to cover for a huge smoldering pit fire. More smoke than fire just billowing out from here. You can feel the heat radiating even from like 50 feet away. It is like a smoldering summer sun that rests beneath the damp earth. Over this fire, there is a gigantic grill that has been stabilized on large flat stones, and atop that are dozens of huge slabs of meat, slowly cooking and forming a gorgeous glistening crust, the color of chocolate and the texture of hard candy. But because it is 9:05, we're going to step away for a quick break. And when we come back, you will all approach the Chords pop-up restaurant. Thank you for sticking with us.
Chowder ooze
for the
here.
break.
Meat ooze.
Meat monster.
There will be a countdown on your screen. We'll be back at the end of it. We'll see you then. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome to D&D. We're playing and you're a part of it now.
Vincent's on a very important quest. Don't shame him.
Thank you, Talon. Yeah, Vincent is on a very important quest. So jumping right back into D&D, here in the rainy town of Petrichor, you have made your way at about 3 o'clock through the stormy streets that are getting a little bit more crowded and to the Stormlord's Capsaicin Club, which has been taken over by the massive, I believe he is a centaur, correct? Is Core?
Core is a massive centaur, yes.
Centaur. You can see this huge kind of thing of meat, and as you approach, you can actually hear there is the sound of Core's kind of theme song in the air. It is these two, like, furbolg who you can see sitting outside, kind of minding this meat. Just right over the shoulder like that. That got me pretty good. You can see these two furbolg. They one of them has black fur that seems to have almost like scarlet highlights along the long arm hair. This is Orange, who like he's actually very dressed up right now. He is wearing like clothing. Typically, he's mostly just walking around in a loincloth covered in honey. This is one of the only people that you've ever met who actually speaks to, or purports to speak to bees, and they manage the various kind of hives within Thornholm. The other person who is singing right along, Core, is this individual named Agave, their brother. And you can see they are a little bit smaller, darker fur with this peach yellow colored kind of skin underneath it. And they're just kind of like singing loudly along. They have these steins of what must be like half water, half beer because they're in the rain, like just drinking here. But no problem. They just seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Alina's gonna approach.
Okay. You make your way over, and you can see both of these furbolg look at you. They turn, kind of look back, and they're singing along, and then they stop, and then they both turn, and they can see you. They see, like, the waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider. It's almost like for them, everybody else is just kind of lost, and you see Orange, the one who is a little bit darker in their, like, fur coloration, just stand bolt upright, the stool scrapes back, and they turn and they book it inside. And then a second later, you can see the other furbolg, Agave. They take a step towards you. Their face is like bright. They're excited to see you. And then the door flies open again in the opposite direction, and you see this ancient satyr who is just standing on the edge. You recognize the huntmaster of the entirety of Thornholm, the crusty old satyr, Collar Red Letter Whistle. And he squints out through the storm. You can see he has this fur that forms almost like curly bangs, but they're gray and like a little bit matted off to the right. But he looks through the storm and he goes, Alina? Alina?
Hello, Master Letter Whistle.
Alina. And he just kind of like rubs his eyes and then looks at you again. It is you, child. You've really done it. And you can see both of the furbolg, like, they run over to you, and Agave sweeps you up in a big hug.
Oh.
Then the other one just sweeps you up in another hug, and you feel just sticky honey, like, just right on the back of your neck. But they hug you, and they're, like, excited to see you. Collar Red goes, set her down, boys. Alina. And he just slowly makes his way out and into the rain towards you.
It's, wonderful to see you.
Alina.
Yes.
You've gone out, and you've been in the world for some time, and you've spread the word of Sir Nunos, have you not, child?
I've been doing my best, yeah.
Who's that? Oh, it's
That's my friend, Billie. She receives some powers from Initgrad.
I think I remember this one.
Hey.
Maybe not.
She doesn't say much.
Very proud of you, Alina. The whole community is very proud of you.
Thank you.
We heard that you received the actual coat of the Nightmare Rider, and you have. I've never beholden it in person before. Only heard of it.
I had a lot of help.
From who?
Hi.
My team. Yeah.
She did a lot of it herself.
I didn't, though. I really didn't.
Well, introduce me then, please, child.
Yes. Well, this is Billie, as you know. She's met in it before. Minka, Ori, Dallas,
Ori.
Cheshire. We've been traveling together for a while. That's why I've kind of been off mission, but very proud.
What do you mean off mission?
Well, I'm supposed to be like spreading the word.
She told us all about Cernunos and how the partying and the joy and the important protection of the forest.
And Minka tries really hard to like remember all the things that Alina has told her about Cernunos.
The words are important, of course. Of course they're important. But the actions, child, that's the most important.
Billy kind of just like stands behind you and is just like
You've
the mild
been
smoke smile.
to the Feywild. You've helped people. Word reaches Thornholm, you know, Alina. It isn't so far away.
Did you know she awakened treants too?
You awakened treants,
We
Alina.
helped.
That is something.
It's very cool.
Jacaranda Indigro likes her.
You met Jacaranda Indigro of the Grove?
She was really cool.
Huh. And you can see he like punches his chest a little bit.
Oh,
and he just goes, my father told me about her. Oh, a wandering treant of some repute. Alina, that is amazing. You've done truly outstanding things.
Thank you, Master.
Ackle, Orange, put your hands on her shoulders. And you can see they both like go behind you and each one puts a hand on your shoulder.
That's agave.
A little bit more fun. Sorry. Sorry, they
Weird
all
that you
look
still
the
can't
same.
tell them apart.
You can see like both of the furbolgs kind of look down and he just goes, I'm trying my best, child. It's been a long day. Look, as the Huntmaster of Thornholm, I declare your mission over. You have spread the word of Cernunos through your actions, through your protections, and he looks around at all of your companions in ways the company you keep. And so,
Billy like kicks in.
you are a part of our community. You are more than just a part. You are a cornerstone.
Oh, that's a great honor, Huntmaster. Thank you.
It's an honor, but it is also a duty, Alina. You must protect the wild now. You are the hunt.
I'm doing my best.
He smiles and he says, You are still alive. You have been to the Feywild, and if what I have heard is correct, the shadow fell besides. Not many can claim this. Very few. You are doing very well.
Thank you, Huntmaster. How did you hear about the Shadowfell thing?
Oh, all sorts of people come through Thornholm, you know. And there was an individual who came through and claimed to speak to beings from a different plane. And they could talk to the shadows, they said. And there's an interesting one who guided them to us, guided them all across. And they said that this guide had met you. Oh, maybe not you. They said a taller one, but you were there. I would recognize you anywhere. Isn't that right, Orange? And you can see, like, they're, again, just like, I'm Ackle. And he just goes, that's what I said.
Nope, he's orange. Ackle's not here.
He just
Took notes.
he turns over to you, though, and he just says, You are now responsible for protecting the wild. Where the drums cannot be heard, you must be their beat.
It's, a big responsibility. Honestly, Huntmaster, it scares me.
It should. You should be terrified of the power that you wield. It is not just creation, but destruction in equal parts. And if you were not afraid, that would make you bad indeed.
I don't want to be bad.
Then stay afraid, Alina.
That will not be difficult, Huntmaster.
Good. And he just straightens up, and you can see the two furbolgs take their hands off your shoulders. And you may have been worried about not being welcome back in your community, but no longer. This is a place that would welcome you in a way that many of you have not been welcome anywhere. You remember Minka returning home? Minka's home is pretty quiet compared to Thornhome, but something similar in terms of the kind of importance.
Huntmaster, actually, could I have your advice on something?
I don't know what advice I might be able to give you, but I'll try.
Billie, like, before she asks, like, recognizes that this is, like, a not everyone moment. And is just like, Core's over there! Sausage! And, like, tries to, like, push everyone away.
Okay. You can.
Huntmaster, I had a dream, or maybe a vision, recently. When I woke up, I had new powers. Terrifying. Fire powers.
Yes.
But in the dream, I saw Sir Nunos, and he showed me a forest that had been burnt to the ground. Seemed to feel it was necessary.
Yes, of course.
I don't understand. I don't want to burn anything to the ground, even for new growth.
It isn't about wanting, Alina. This is nature. When you eat, you are consuming things that were once alive. Whether it is meat or plant matters not. It is part of nature. It is part of the whole. Just as you are. And while there may not be some predator that eats you, if you're lucky, you will become part of the whole all the same. In the same way as things become single and then part of this greater, the burning of a forest is just the start of something new.
Thank you, Huntmaster.
Alina, let me ask you something. Have you ever killed an evil creature?
Yeah,
Was that the wrong thing to do?
I hope not.
He smiles and he says, "Your uncertainty is a mark of power. You are the right person for this, especially when you do not think so."
Alina just kind of bows low, and then gives him like a big hug.
Well, and don't think I wouldn't not give you something to help also more meaningfully. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Sorry.
Thank you. And he reaches into his robes and he pulls out kind of like a crinkly old oak leaf, but you recognize that this is a wayfinding leaf. And this is something that, he says, in a time of great need. If you find yourself unable to find a path, let this do it for you. And he hands you this crinkly old leaf.
Thank you.
And he nods.
I appreciate your advice. You honor me, Huntmaster. How long will you be here in town?
We will be here for the duration of this tournament. We're here mostly for Core, of course, but the music won't hurt either.
We're actually, competing?
In what?
You know, the Battle of the Bards.
Is there a small one that I'm not aware of?
No. We got in just under the wire.
Like, as musicians?
Yeah, there's, you know, a couple of bards in our group, and, I mean, you've seen me play the hand drum.
Make a persuasion.
Oh no!
You're good at these, right?
17.
17. I mean, that's pretty persuasive. He looks at you and he seizes you by your shoulders and he goes, Alina, I didn't realize that there was a second cause for celebration. I will be right back, but I must get Ocartus. And
don't have
we know.
Oh, he's not
we
gonna
are
be
bringing everyone. I will be back in the nick of time, just before your performance begins. Which round are you? Are you going first or second? Do you
Oh,
know?
I don't even know.
Okay, well
You
then
don't
I
have
will
to go
be
get
extra
Ocartus.
quick.
He's not gonna care. Okay.
No, not just Ocartus. Ocartus will open the way to Thornholm, and then we will bring everyone. And he gets up and he begins to
Please,
move
oh
away.
God, you don't have to do that.
He turns and he goes, well, why not? We are going to get all of the stargrass and all of the alcohol, and we are going to celebrate appropriately, Elena. He turns and just totters back. For the rest of you, you made your way into like this like opening, and as you do, the entirety of this place like taken up by this massive centaur. You can see like broad chest, and as you walk in, you can see there is just like this like little kind of sheep looking at you, and then this cleaver goes straight through, and in one fell swoop beheads this entire sheep. The head just falls right off, and you hear "Core" as you go straight down. And he ching, brings it back up and goes, Core? Who are all of you?
Hey, you know.
Billie! And he goes, he like gestures his big knife right at you. Can I cut you off a raw slice?
Yes.
Right through, paper thin, cuts this like perfect little, almost like a beef carpaccio, like little portion. And with the edge of this huge cleaver, just twirls it into almost like a little rose shape, and then just slides it across the table towards you. And the grease of this meat, it looks raw, but this has been cured and like salted, and so it is so greasy that it like slides in the grease.
Billy like catches it on the tip of her daggers. You know how to treat a lady.
Core. Anybody else? And he ching, slides one over to you, and same thing, just ching, ching, ching. To each of you, just slides over this little slice of greasy, salty, spicy meat. Oh my god, that, yeah.
It's to Ori.
Core looks at you and just goes, this feels right. Core! Slaps it straight in your hand.
Okay,
My
we'll
arm is
post that
broken.
story on the Instagram or something.
Turns over,
It's
though.
too funny not to share.
Turns over though, and yeah, just like turns to you, Billy, and just says, are you here to support me?
Yeah.
Core! She cuts up a big chunk of meat, and now you can see like takes it, puts it on the flat side of this kind of like butcher's knife, and brings it over to where there is this like roaring, what is almost like a stove, and just holds the butcher knife over the stove, and like slowly you can see it begins to like heat, and the meat begins to sizzle, and like the fat is just melting off of it. Finely marbled is this, but he turns and just kind of like regards all of you. Can Core help you?
Can you believe that they don't like turtles' eggs? I tried.
Yeah, Core can believe that.
Right? Oh. Do you have any of your blood sausage?
I'm Core. He throws this meat up, and with the meat still in the air, takes this like knife. Hang on. And just wings it and throws it up into like the rafters of the Stormlips Capsaicin Club, and you can see there are all of these like beautiful glass bottles. For like actual hot sauce, and glass is a hard commodity to find here. Many of these like Dragonborn clone, and you see this cleaver just move and go straight through, doesn't hit a single bottle, and just cuts this little string of sausage that falls down to the ground. And he catches this cleaver and sticks it out, catches the meat, still other side down, sizzles again on the fire. Can you make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can catch these sausages?
In your mouth.
It's a natural 20.
Oh, the luck holds. The luck holds. That's 22.
And for all the rest of you, Billy doesn't even look, just like grabs them as they go. It looks like this rehearsed routine that is so perfect, it's kind of hard to believe.
Does it seem magical in any way, or is it just like
With no roll required, yes, but if you want to make an insight check, you can, and that will probably tell you that no. The magic is the friendship.
It's magic.
The magic is in the meat.
For you, Ori, yes, that's the magic.
19.
19, hard to tell. It feels magical though. So you have this sausage, no problem. Alina, if you want, you can make your way in.
Yep.
After having that conversation with the hut monster, Cor turns to you and goes, "Cor!" and just takes this like meat, hunks this knife down straight into the bar. And this is not Cora's restaurant. This is like a very fine, like lacquered wooden bar. You can see like dark, almost like a burl wood. There are like these bronze fastenings around it, and he just right into this, and you see the wood splits.
Okay.
And he like chunks it down. He goes, "Magic will deal with it, Core!" And he just gives you a big hug. You feel like the bones kind of pop in your back, but he just releases you and goes, "Sorry, very excited. You are the chosen one. Core will make a special meal for you."
Weird way to put it, but I never turned down a special core meal.
Core turns and he says, "You are chosen. You will help Core get much meat in the future. Legendary meat. You are chosen. You are the meat bringer."
We're just gonna do
One special coming right up.
an insight
And he
check
goes-
on that to be like,
Yeah, do an insight check.
I'm not sure this is what natural 20.
You look at Core, and what you are hearing is a reflection of something that Core heard, probably as like a child. This is prophecy to Core. And with a natural 20, you abstract it one step further. There was probably some point in Core's like distant childhood where he was really hungry, and like a parent or some figure in Thornholm was like, "Oh, somebody's bringing meat, don't worry," like, and like he latched onto that in like a way that is so intense. And so this is a perfect storm of different things that have happened, and Core like very genuinely is so enthusiastic about the fact that there is somebody who can finally obtain these ingredients that have been out of reach for Core for some time. There is like deadly seriousness and a lot of like happiness and pride and excitement there. But no problem, he goes and he cooks you up a fine steak. And there's almost nothing that is put onto this except for salt. He takes like this sprig of rosemary and just waves it over top, but then puts it down. Doesn't actually touch this in any way. And it's a gorgeous steak. But serves that to you. All of you can have like elements of meat, and Core would be happy to serve you up like an entire lunch free of charge, since Core has not paid a dime for any of this meat. Is there anything that you guys are doing in the course of this? It probably takes you until at least 5 o'clock. It'd be closer to 6.
Enjoying dinner.
Okay.
I'll probably be catching up with the 2 out of the 3 triplets.
Okay. One of them has to stay outside the whole time because they're like in charge of watching the meat, but like they'll rotate for sure. And they fight over who gets to be inside.
Billy, like, feeling a little mollified after, like, again, the day of feelings, sees Core, like, pull the knife from the bar and just, like, mends it.
Okay. You just
Magic
mend
took
it
care of
right
it.
back together. You did. You made it happen.
You know,
Prophecy
he's-
fulfilled.
Yeah.
So you do this. You have a fine meal. This is for you especially, Alina. You've been home, like away from home for a long time. Core didn't cook a tremendous amount because he's often off doing like hunts and things like that. But when he did, it was always an occasion. And it's one thing to have people tell you that you're doing a good job, but this is like an actual feast, and not even in Thornholm, it's still coming together. You look around this table, and it is both friends that you have made. You see like Billie, who kind of straddles the line between old friend and new. You see Minka, you see Cheshire and Ori and Valis, but then also you see the Furbolgs, and you see Core, who is just animated and just serving up meat as flashy as he possibly can. And this is really the moment where you feel like this is real, where this is not something that somebody can take away. But this meal passes without issue, and as 6 o'clock rolls by, 7 o'clock rolls by, if there's nothing else that you want to do, we can fast forward to a little closer to 9. How long do you want to leave yourselves to make it out towards the center of town?
How close is it? Yeah.
Probably
3
like
hours
like
to
a
walk
5-minute walk, because you guys, it's closer to get into Yeah.
Does this feasting and hanging out together in community and good times count as a
Short rest, it certainly does. And I would say for that, you can forestall this hour of your, or actually make one Constitution saving throw. And this is really getting you out of several.
Do we still have the aura?
You do. Valis is there.
18.
22.
Both of you with this bolstering effect of the delicious meat. And this is like, Thornholm mead that is made from the Thornholm meadery. This is exactly as you would have remembered it from back home. Though they do actually, let me see, I think they're probably going to tap for you something that they brought specifically for the tournament. 1 second there. They would open up a fortified mead. And the mead has been fortified with stargrass that has been grown within Thornholm itself. And so it is potent in its effects. And for anybody who wants to imbibe that, please make another Constitution saving throw.
I mean,
100%. When in Thornholm.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
18.
Okay.
30, 20.
Nice.
19.
Excellent.
7.
I'm sticking to regular mead because Minka has seen people on flagpoles and she's not ready for that for herself.
No worries. As you watch this, people eating meat and drinking this mead, it is a celebration. But for Valis and for Ori,
We are celebrating.
They get a little bit quiet because all of you get a little bit drunk. For the two of you, it is really the stargrass infusion that kind of kicks in. And you get a little bit quieter because you can't help but feel like you're being watched. You've been in places where the shadows themselves can separate from the walls, and there's a lot of shadows in here. It's not feeling great. The two of you gain the frightened condition. You don't feel immobilized. That is the one thing that you can move in any direction that you want. You're not sure what you're frightened of. But you both get the sense that you'll know it when you see it. And then the door opens up, and it's one of the furbolgs. And you can see he's like, oh, it's your turn to go now. And goes in, sits down. And that happens like 3 more times. It's like, it's pretty brutal. And you're having a real bad high right now. But no problem.
Is this evident to any of the rest
Yes.
My mouth is so dry.
Alina's gonna be like, Dallas, that cure poison thing that you can do, you're having a bad trip right now, my guy.
You cure this poison, and all of a sudden, in an instant, you feel better. You feel this relief wash over you, and you knew this was like a chemical
When
feeling.
did you get here?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Does it require a willing creature?
No.
Okay, there you go. No problem. Against your
Right,
consent.
Very specific.
No, very specifically. You can learn that. Really that.
Well, I don't know if you guys clocked it, but last time Kirsten asked if this was on purpose for Billy being drunk, and then chose not to.
Fully clocked it.
I assume
I
that
clocked
was,
that.
that was more just
That was
courtesy.
that was a dig at Valis.
But no worries.
Because before he just went, what?
Yeah.
You lay
it's
on
like-
hands yourself and Ori and are able to clear this effect away. But it is about 8:30.
I think it's time we should maybe get some air. And I'm not sure I can eat
I'm gonna
anymore.
go for a quick stroll. Yeah.
I'm not used to this much protein all at once.
Yeah.
I've heard it called the meat sweats.
Oh, that might explain.
Well, I was ready for a second round, but we can go.
Alright,
We
well,
should
only
probably,
had
and she
one.
points to a wrist that does not have a watch on
Yeah,
it,
sure.
and just be like, we should probably.
Yeah.
go into the town center and just stare.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way out, saying goodbyes,
Watching for meteors.
presumably, to the people who are in here. And you make your way out. There are a fair amount of people for like 8:30 at night when there's not like street lights or things like that. But there's people who are like in their kind of doorways or in windows. But no problem. You make your way towards the center of town. It only takes you about 5 minutes, so you make it there a little bit before 9. Everybody go ahead and make a perception check.
Does Rez get to make one too?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, the luck does not hold.
It's okay. I rolled
Alina,
really good.
Alina gets a 14, and Rez gets a 10.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
No.
I like the idea that it's the dice and it rolls and it rolls. And just, no.
24.
Okay.
Someone make a d20 where the natural one is a no.
I have one
Minka,
that just
Cheshire,
says-
and Ori. The three of you are able to keep a much closer eye out than the others. For all of you, as you kind of congregate here, you do, I would say almost everybody, with the exception of maybe Valis, you do note that there is like an abnormal number of people who are kind of gathered around windows, doors, and within the streets. You can see there are people on covered terraces just outside their houses. Some people have umbrellas and they're tilted back. And when you look at Ori, you turn around and you can see a similar expression on other people, which is curious. Ori, you're looking up. Cheshire and Minka, you see Ori looking up. You look around, everybody else is looking up. You look up too. And as it rains here, you almost swear like there is something that your eye just can't quite focus on somewhere up above the town.
Oh, that's not good.
And then there is a crack of lightning, but it's not like normal lightning. This is long and low, and it kind of crawls across the sky slowly over the course of about 6 seconds, like an ocean's wave rolling across the dark beach of storms overhead. And it illuminates the town. For just a moment, you can see 200 feet up, there is a single humanoid. And you can hear like a gasp from the people who are kind of gathered around. These gasps and these like little expressions, these are excitement and maybe a little bit of apprehension. But for you, who had over a 25? Two of you. For the two of you, Cheshire, you're looking up and just rain right in the eyeball and you have to blink it out. For the two of you, you can see there is a single figure who is hovering up above. And you had seen them not a couple hours previously. This is the Halfling Musa. And they are bringing this piccolo up to their mouth, and they play a single clear note that rings out like a choir boy piercing a silent night, a clean sound that is so pure it makes the breath catch in your throat, and it feels as if even the rain itself begins to slow, but because it is 9:50. And a great place to stop. This is where we're going to end for the evening. And we will be back next week as Musa begins this piccolo performance. Thank you for joining us for this session of D&D. We'll be back next week. If you can't wait that long, check us out on YouTube at AlberonRPG. We yet again have not used a reroll for this theme, so we'll have to think about a way to encourage reroll use, but...
Olive is very upset in the chat.
Yeah, I bet.
You haven't had the need to use it, right? You've just been rolling well.
Yeah, this was an abnormally, like, all around, with the exception of Alice, good roll. But please stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.